world's on the hunt, and it's time for the Bennington Show, the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. Mike Bloomberg was seconds away from choking his mic out and walking out like Earl Douglas. I'm Vito Calise, and I'm pissed the Yang Gang was ignored once again. It's Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington, the Bennington Show.
My mind is going through them changes. I feel just like committing a crime. Every time you see me going somewhere, I know I'm going out of my mind, yeah. Oh, my baby, she left me the other day, and we were having a lot of fun. Oh, she knew I just love her so.
Yeah, buddies, it's the Bennington Show, the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. I'm Gail Bennington.
And I'm Vito Calise, and I think that Chris is fat and Earl's black. What are you doing? I can't understand you.
In the left.
Okay.
That's
Listen
too
up.
loud.
Yeah, now you're screaming it. Why do you have to leave with it? I don't understand that.
That they always do that.
Yeah.
I need to do it, so I asked him to grab it.
I'd rather you come in and fix it in 2 seconds. You know? I don't like when you say somebody, what are they doing? And they go, hi, man.
Right here.
I go, what are you, gaslighting me?
He's a gaslighter.
I didn't watch the debate last night because I don't watch debates. I haven't for many, many years because they're a false fucking measurement.
Yes, I did watch it. I watch all of them.
Why would anyone think that a debate you'd be able to tell who is a good president and who isn't?
Yes.
I'm going to say this. The only time President Trump has debated is in the debates. His life is not about how good of a debater.
No.
You know what I mean? He doesn't debate anyone. He tells people what to do, or he gets advice and he measures it. But there's never a time where a quick quip is what's in his job. Maybe a negotiation. Yeah, sure.
How do you feel about a town hall versus a debate?
Now,
Is that a better way to understand a candidate?
no, absolutely not. You take a look at Mike Bloomberg. Now, you can say very few people have had success on his level. Maybe there's 10 in the history of this country from a management point of view. A debate or a town hall have nothing to do with that. The CEO of this company doesn't do town halls. You know what I mean? And he certainly doesn't do debates. We've set up this thing to measure something that makes zero sense.
Yes. It's all very much about the drama, and then usually about how much they feel like the moderators are doing a poor job, which is almost across the board. It's very few times, and they get a lot of chances. There's a lot of debates, and no one ever seems to be truly happy. Maybe the ones before this, I think they didn't hate what MSNBC did with that one, but this last one, they just despised it. They were so upset.
The whole thing is fucking insane. All right, you take a look. I'm going to use Mike Bloomberg because, he doesn't have... he's taking a lot of shit right now. And they're like, oh, he looked like a deer in headlights during that debate. Yeah, because he's worth $58 billion and no one's brought up something that he said to a woman, 30 years ago or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, what? Where'd that fucking... You know what I mean? He doesn't have that happen in his life.
Yeah.
But he's run a major fucking company in a competitive world. And then he's run America's biggest fucking city. So there's plenty to look at if you want to look at him. Now, do you want to say, I don't like the way he handles himself or whatever. I don't think he would be good. All that stuff is on the table.
Yeah.
But how quick you can come back with something, we might as well have Lisa Lampanelli as our next fucking champion.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? She should be the president then because she has been in roast and she understands how to give and take a punch in public.
Yes.
But no one debated Obama for 8 fucking years. No one
Yeah.
did. No one said, Mr. President, I'm ready to say some things for you that's going to surprise you right now. You better fucking have a good comeback. It doesn't make sense. We live in there's so much insane about this country. There's so much. The caucuses are insane. The fact that I swear to God, we can't seem to get the voting together, and yet MasterCard is going to be on me on a fucking heartbeat if I make a purchase that they find to be odd. They'll be like this. What do you do? You never spent this kind of money on socks. Did someone steal your card?
Always embarrasses me when they shut my card down every time that I just like buy a flight somewhere. They're like, she can't afford this. There's no way this is her.
Yeah, what happens is they're going, and because they're like, Ron doesn't make a lot of purchases. Somebody stole his card.
Yeah.
Because they know I'm not a shopper. Mm-hmm. Keep forgetting to bring the babies into a fucking LA shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you don't care. But you'd be reminding me.
Forgot.
Be like, we got to get that shirt, man.
Don't worry.
We must.
We're going to get it in here.
What are you You're not involved in this, Chris.
Yeah.
I want to help you.
You're not involved in clothing my child. Let me make that clear to you.
By the way, I got a 1 o'clock on Tuesday with Gary.
Okay.
Lock that in
Locking it in.
to my schedule.
Scheduling.
And then check it against yourself later.
Understood.
Is it locked?
You locked and loaded?
In moments.
Moments will be locked.
Oh, this is very exciting. It's in between time.
Last night I was coming home from the stand and I was coming up this to my building and I'm like, oh, that's a fucking great premise. And I'm like, I'm not going to write it. You know, it's something, because right after you do a set for some reason, you think of other things you should be doing. And I go, I should write that down. I go, why would I write it down? I'll never forget it. It's the greatest idea anyone's ever fucking had. No idea what it was.
Oh, I hate that feeling. I hate the feeling of being like, yep, that's the answer. And then 2 hours later being like, what was I saying? Why would I have to write everything down. I'm a list writer, too.
Yeah.
Even if I never...
Well, you are a list writer.
Yes, which
You
I
don't
learned
get that
my
from
mom.
me. Yeah,
my
you
mom.
got your mom lists all the time.
And that's because I'm a disorganized person, not because I am an organized person. So I have to write a list, otherwise I'll forget it. But the weird thing is, I don't necessarily, like if I write a grocery list,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily even pull that list out of my pocket. It's the act of making it sometimes that like it goes somewhere in my brain that I've written it
That's
down.
what I try to explain people about on Mass. They go that you work without notes, and I go, yeah, but I've thought about it before, and then I go and have the conversation. They go, what if you forget about something that you were going to do? And I go, yeah, I'd rather forget about things all the time.
Right.
But just like if I went to lunch with you, I'm not going to get to everything.
Right.
So what?
I forgot about how's your mom doing? Damn it. I should have wrote that down.
You once used the N-word. I hate that kind of thing. I couldn't be like a 60 Minutes asshole. You know what I mean?
Just calling people out constantly.
Yeah.
You failed terribly in 1989. Everything about you was bad. You said the coronavirus was a good thing. I feel good about the president. The president said they're just blowing this out of proportion.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to agree with him.
Yeah, last night in the debate across the board, they're like, that's not the way to handle this and isn't true. It's the exact opposite of what the CDC is saying.
Yeah. Well, they don't know what they're talking about. They're a
also-
bunch of fucking bureaucrats.
Also, I think Trump tweeted like the Karen-virus or something. Everybody was talking
He has
about
a spelling
it today.
problem.
He
You know what I
does.
mean? He's not a good speller. Again, do you need to be a good speller if you're the president? I don't think so.
I guess
Although
not.
I'd rather see a spelling bee than a fucking debate. Because at least that would be funny. I'd like to see math come up.
Yeah. Yang
'Cause
would have liked that too.
Everybody taps out somewhere in math. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how good you are
Mm-hmm.
at math, you get to a certain point. Like, I think the general consensus is calculus.
Yes.
Like, people go, for me, it was fractions.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, when they said, if you had 3/4 and 1/3,
Yep.
what would that equal? And I wrote down as an answer, a lot. That would be a lot. But you will, and if there's anything that I wish I was good at, it was math, because I love reading about physics. But I just gloss over the math part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I fucking could actually read math, I wouldn't need to read a fucking book about how weird the fucking universe is. You know what I mean? I would just look at a math problem and go, holy shit.
You're kidding.
This is fucking amazing. There is a God. It's right here on this paper. I mean, if there is a God, he or she, and that could be a gay she, right,
Oh.
is a mathematician. You know what I mean? That's the language of God, is math. I have no idea what God's talking about. None. Like you could look at
Math is the voice of God.
yes, it's the language of God. You could look at a math thing and go, "Oh, so that's a flower. That's what a flower looks like." Remember in the Matrix when he would just look at numbers going by and yeah, that's true. That's literally true. You can see the world if you understood math. And I would love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just think if you were naturally good at that, it would change the way your mind worked, probably the way you thought about everything.
100% true. It's just like being a funny person is surprising to people because they see things through a contrarian point of view. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to believe on a cellular level what they see and what we all take as normal. And then so you say something and everyone laughs. And if it's really funny, you'll go, fuck, that was right there my whole life. Mm-hmm. And I could have it's not that difficult of a concept. You know what I mean? There's never, a good joke is never a difficult concept. It's so simple that people get it immediately and start to react to it immediately. Yeah. And wouldn't you like to be able to do that with mathematics? Wouldn't you be able to like to just go like this and have everyone go, fuck? Yeah. And that's what they say when something is elegant. And there's elegant math, which is very easily understandable and it's right there and it's indisputable. And just the way that there's an elegant joke.
Now I'm just imagining myself like Max Fisher when he's having the daydream that he just is able to do the problem and everyone just like hoists him up. It's the best. It is the best.
He also somehow got a cup of coffee into school. Which I don't even think people are happy with in college. I don't think they like to see with a cup of coffee and a saucer.
But no, not like with an actual cup. That I think would maybe be a little too pompous.
Earl, I want you to ask them downstairs today if we can have our own cups here.
Yes. I would like to think about this because I'm doing everything for the environment. You know what I mean? Little things.
I'm doing nothing right now.
You got that water bottle?
Yeah, but Earl got that for me. I was thinking today that I want to help the environment. It came to me when I was burning all these tires. And I go, I got to do something. But then somebody told me the other day that the fuel from like 6 tankers is more dangerous than all the fucking cars in the world or something. And I'm like, oh, then we have no chance, huh?
Yeah.
There's just no chance.
It feels like it.
Unless we take on the fat cats.
I don't think they're going to listen.
Mm-hmm. They will, because you know what? You vote with your dollar, Chris. You vote with your dollar.
Yeah, that's the way you vote, Chris.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Especially because you don't actually vote.
He votes for Tito.
Yes.
That's where his dollars go.
Much,
Tito. Although he forgets. He goes, I know I have a brand, but I'm so drunk I forgot it. That's where he is on his 8th drink. They're going, what kind? And he's like, whoa, fuck. I know I have a favorite brand of vodka.
You should have wrote it down.
Yeah.
Shit.
You should get it tattooed on your arm.
It's like memento.
Yeah.
Serve me this.
I'm noticing these girls are getting these very thin black tattoos that say things now on their arms.
Yeah.
Like their arms are covered, but there's no color to it at all.
Yes.
And there's no width to it, just these little things.
Yeah. There's a lot of really thin geometric shapes and then just lines too. Just like a line that goes up your arm or a line that goes up your leg.
I don't know where this whole tattoo thing's going.
Yeah.
I like people who shave their head and then tat that all up.
Oh, yeah,
that's like a permanent hat.
Yeah, and it's cool because when you don't want to have that, just grow your hair out. You know what I mean? That's the kind of cool thing about it.
Only a woman could say that, my friend. Only a woman could say that. A guy, once he tattoos his head, I don't think that hair is coming back.
It can't, right?
Yeah.
It has to destroy all the fucking follicles.
Yeah, I mean, a guy could shampoo his hair and it's over.
But then, if it could grow through, would it be like dyed, like whatever those
Well, that'd be
colors
fun.
were?
All right, that's going to be an experiment I'm going to do. I also wish, not just math skills, but I would really love to have detective skills. And that kind of Sherlock Holmes where you come into a room and you're like, you look at the way the room's set up and then you're able to tell what the people are like.
See, that also makes me think of like you being a comic and seeing what's funny in a room too. Like you're a detective for humor.
Well, yeah, but my thing's easy. Fat guy sitting up front. I have a special thing. I was at the stand last night, and there's a woman that brings her service dog, and the dog's name is Phil. I can't stop thinking about him the whole time. I'm looking over, Phil's passed out on the ground.
Hey, Phil.
I mean, a dog with a human name makes me uneasy. I always has.
Mm-hmm.
And I did have, growing up, a friend named Danny Archdeacon, and he got a dog, one of these dogs that you put the kerchief around his neck and hang out with him.
Nice.
Cool.
And he named that dog Dan. And you'd be over his house and he'd be like, look at Dan. And I go, dude, I'm too fucking high to look at Dan right now. The fact that you and your dog have the same name normally doesn't bother me, but I'm really high right now. And I feel like this is not even something I want to think about.
I had a friend with a dog named Hannah, and I just feel like that's too much of a, you know what I mean? It's not like
too girly.
Hey, I named her like Maribeth or Sue Ann or something. I don't know. Like there's like old hunting dog names or something, but just Hannah is just a girl's name.
It's a good point because I have seen dogs with men's names, but never dogs with ladies' names. It's very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. But there are people who go like, "This is my dog Frank." I'm like, what's your brother's name? Buttons?
Hey, Eric in Chester.
Hey, how are you?
Good, man.
You were talking about math. I'll give you the short version, and then you can go longer if you want. But here's 3 books, and read them in this order. How Not to Be Wrong, and it's called The Power of Mathematical Thinking. The next one would be Math and the Mona Lisa, and the third one would be Just 6 Numbers. Now, I can tell you a really cool story about World War II in the first one that might get you interested
Sure,
in that.
go ahead. I want to hear this, Eric.
Okay, check this out. It's in that book, How Not to Be Wrong. There's a famous math problem called Wald and the Missing Bullet Holes, and I'll keep it short, but the bottom line, Jewish mathematician, I think he's in Austria, so they make him run away to the UK before the US is in the war. The generals hire him because they're losing too many planes bombing England. His problem is, I need you to figure out where to put steel sheets on these planes to reinforce them. Now, too much, it takes too much gas, or we can do less bombs. Not enough, there's no point in even doing it. You with me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the generals give him all these statistics, 21 on average in the right wing when it comes back, 11 in the tail, 6 in the nose. So the generals are all like, we're going to put the 4 sheets where the 4 numbers are the highest. And this cat goes, no, you've got it all wrong. You're going to put those sheets where there's not a single bullet hole. And the generals go, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, have you ever seen a plane come back with 1 shot in the engine cowling? No, because it crashes and it doesn't come back. Mathematically, we know it can fly with 21 holes in the right wing because you counted it. Does that make sense? To me, that blows my mind, but I'm an egghead.
You are an egghead, and I wish that really hit me
I know.
somewhere.
I wanted to like laugh and
Yeah.
know what that meant.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'm too out of touch. But
No,
the point is,
Eric,
they were like,
I'm going to read these books, and I don't know math, but I'm going to send you in a pretty good prize closet.
Yeah.
thank you.
I
All
hope
right.
we have something math related.
Something great, Earl.
Yeah.
You're giving away a lot of shitty stuff, and then I want you to announce to what people are winning. We have a lot of great stuff, but then we don't tell people. Look, he looks so timid, as if I said, Earl, I'm going to hit you with a stick.
No, I completely understand that, Ron. I will,
That's not the point. I want the audience to fucking feel enthusiastic about it.
yes, absolutely.
By the way, Earl tricked me into reading a fucking book last night. He told me he had a fucking guest. Now, I say this. I'm got to go out to the Stanley. I go, I can take a nap or read this fucking book. Guess what stupid move I made?
Oh, no.
And now he's like, oh, the guest isn't coming in.
Do you want to know something? I'm like the opposite situation where I was like, I just found out you got the book yesterday. I didn't get the book. And I was like, I'm not like Ron. I can't read a book in a night. How am I gonna get anywhere in this? Didn't happen.
Now you're lucky.
Yeah.
You didn't get the book because Earl is not going to give a woman a book.
Do you think that's what it is?
It's
I didn't
100%
believe you
what it
about
is.
that last week.
He has issues with women.
The difference between me and you is I accept that in Earl. I'm like, he doesn't like women.
That's just
That
him.
would be hard for me to accept, I think.
I accept people the way they are, right? You know, I have friends that are racist. I can't change them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I go, well, that's my racist friend. That's it.
It is what it is.
Chris is my racist friend.
What?
There's
I'm
no
not,
way
I'm
around
not a
it.
racist.
Oh, that was who it is.
Some people are that way. Earl's a misogynist. That's just him.
I didn't think that was why.
Oh, I love women.
Come
Absolutely
That's
love
not
women.
fuck-
Fucking
you.
problem.
Fucking prick.
I love a little girl that I can take care of. He doesn't even realize how misogynist. Would you say I love men? No, of course you wouldn't. Because you have too much respect to say that.
Fear and
Earl.
respect. That's what women want, just like men have.
Jerry wants to solve another math problem for
All
us.
right. Hey, Jerry.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, yesterday you were talking about why wasn't it southbound and down?
yeah.
Well, the boys were thirsty in Atlanta, and the beer was in Texarkana, and that's west to east, east to west.
It's still a little further south, though, from Texarkana, I think. But they stayed in the
Well,
south.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Why couldn't they
that's
get drinks anywhere? I mean, alcohol is readily available in every city.
Is this another math problem
There's-
I don't understand?
There's a few dry counties.
John in Long Island.
Hey guys, back to the debate for a second. I don't think Trump's even going to debate again. He had to the first time because he wanted to be president. But now
Right.
that he is, all he has is something to lose. He's going to say fuck it and not do it.
You don't think he'll debate who's ever the Democrat?
He has too much. He could look shitty if he pulls out.
He's not a great
Nobody did
debater. Most people weren't.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't even think it's that big of a deal of how well, like, people like, everyone who says they like debates has a job on TV. I don't think regular people like the debates. When Obama was running his second term against Mitt Romney, I think it was in Denver or something, Obama showed up. I don't know whether the fucking mountain air had got to him, but he looked like he was high and weird. And Mitt Romney fucking clawed him and beat the shit out of him. And Obama was wheeling around and he looked stupid. He literally looked like a stupid person. He still won that fucking election.
Man, I don't even remember that. For
People
some reason.
don't. They
Yeah.
drop it. The day after was the biggest story. Obama blew the presidency. Everybody's making a big deal out of it. But the debate really doesn't fucking show you anything.
Yeah.
And these people think whether you like Bloomberg's policies or not, the guy could run a fucking country. It would not be a problem. He would not break a sweat running a country.
Yeah. Some brown people would be in jail, but he could run a country.
Then that's something for you to debate whether or not you think
Yeah.
he's not going to be for everyone, and you could do that with everybody.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with the debate. You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is, you're not going to be totally happy with any fucking president, particularly if you're a minority, because that would mean progress would need to take place.
Right.
And that's always a hard thing to pull off.
Hey, Pete in Indiana.
Hey, real quick, you guys were talking about the song Eastbound and Down, and you were criticizing them not having alcohol. The actual specific thing was they couldn't get Coors beer east of the Mississippi. So that was the whole challenge. You had to go west of the Mississippi to Texarkana, break into a warehouse, get some Coors beer, and bring it back to Atlanta where they couldn't get it. Jerry Reed even said a line in there that would be bootlegging, my friend, and that is illegal.
Pete, pretty good prize closet.
Hey, Pete.
Oh,
Now-
thank you.
Yeah. Now, not only is Pete telling the truth, but I actually remember this happening. And me and my friend Berkey were driving out to California the year that I graduated. And we were like, as soon as we get the chance to get Coors, we're going to get Coors. Coors, you couldn't get it on the East Coast. Sometimes some people would bring it back. But the person that used to drink Coors and made it fucking kind of popular was Paul Newman. Paul Newman was a guy in Connecticut that would always have a refrigerator full of Coors because, you know, he was a rich guy. Now, here's the thing. So we got the Coors. We're like, this fucking Coors is so good. It's so fucking much. It wasn't.
Right.
It's just that when you can't get something,
Yeah.
that's what you want.
It's really funny. I didn't realize that.
It's like when you go to Joe's Stone Crab in Miami. You're like, fuck, this Stone Crab is great. It's not really. You know what I mean? But it's the only place you can get it. Can't get stone crab up north.
I was talking about grouper sandwich and how it's very popular in Florida. You don't get it anywhere else, really. And my husband was like, is it like the best fish ever? And I was like, no, I guess not. But I really want it because I haven't had it since I was a kid. And I used to have it readily all the time.
I'm going to say something that's going to hurt you a little bit. Even that grouper, they find out all the time it's not grouper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some other fucking skank fish of some type. You know what I mean? And they just sell it as grouper.
You just see a grouper? Ugly fish and huge.
Gigantic.
Massive.
Really? I thought it was small.
No. Grouper's
Oh,
big.
huge.
A tarpon is even bigger. A tarpon looks like it should be in a fucking Jaws movie.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's insanity.
That's a big ugly fish, Chris.
That is a freakish fucking
Yeah.
fish.
Now look up a tarpon. A tarpon is pretty like, if you're on the water. and
It's
you
pretty,
see
but
it.
look at that. A tarpon would scare the shit out of you because it's
Yeah.
so fast in the water and so big. It doesn't attack people.
Yeah.
But look at that one. There are people that have had their boats pulled hundreds of miles because they hooked a fucking tarpon.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. They're so massive. In fact, when I was in Miami and I saw a shark, I think somebody was like, you think maybe it was a tarpon? Absolutely not. I know the difference. 100% no. They move totally different.
I've been, snorkeling and a tarpon pulled up and I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm dead. It's just a tarpon, but they're so fucking, it's like
Yeah.
submarine just
Oh, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
shot right past you. Now, to me, the best thing to eat in Florida is manatee. So fucking soft. And you just cut
Buttery.
into it. Yeah, buttery. It's like sushi.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just throw it on the plate. It just fucking, it slides when it hits the pan. It's so big and fatty and sweet.
I don't know why. I would imagine it tastes similar to escargot. Just something
Really?
about the fattiness and like kind of fishy but not. You know what I mean? Like that's how escargot is. Where it like doesn't really taste like seafood, but it doesn't taste like a land animal either.
You're right. Mike Scudero sent us all this stuff here on hot dogs. I don't even know if I want to get into it. People do a lot of gross stuff with hot dogs. Like the shit that they put on hot dogs around the world.
I know you're anti corn dog, but I'm very
course I am.
pro. I'm
You know
very
why?
pro.
Because I'm an American.
It's
I
American.
believe in this country. You know, and I believe in the American voter. You know?
Yeah?
But I'll tell you something right now. It's all about family values.
Hey, Ben in Chicago.
How's it going?
How's it going, Ben?
So I actually do think grouper sandwich could be up there with best sandwiches. Just got back from Florida, and my kids agree with me as well. We can't get them here in Chicago, but when you get them down there, it doesn't get better.
I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of it has because you're getting it at some beach bar.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
so-
It's all caught.
No, disagree. This is right off the dock at Cortez. This is the best. And it was swimming a couple hours earlier, or we actually catch it and bring it back.
You can believe all that stuff from any store. But the truth is, the same way is like boat drinks. You're not going to fucking drink a boat drink up north.
No.
But when you're down on the fucking beach, and you're sitting there, and you're like, this is fucking the life. This is fantastic.
I went to a friend's birthday a couple years ago at a tiki bar. It was a tiki themed bar
Fantastic.
in Brooklyn, and we were in the middle of winter, and we were in Codes drinking it. We're like, I like these, but it feels unnatural. Like,
Yes.
really
Yeah.
feels weird to be drinking something with coconut in it here.
I mean, in the same way that it's weird to have a fucking scotch when you're in Miami. You're
Yeah.
like, what are we doing?
Doesn't make
You know
sense.
what I mean? I need a clear fucking liquor.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, absolutely.
Boat drinks. The boys in the band that want boat drinks.
Hey, Elliot in Ohio.
Hey, I got a great story about Coors and bringing it east from Mississippi. My grandpa was an Air Force pilot. He flew cargo planes, 119s and 130s. And they kind of had a Sergeant Bilka thing going on. They would do some of their plane flights out west, like Colorado or different parts of Texas. And they would have the breweries basically meet him at the airport with a truck full of beer, and they'd unload it on the C-130s and bring it on back to Ohio for parties and to resell.
This sounds like a McHale's Navy kind of bullshit going on. You know?
Nick in Baltimore.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
I think it's seasonal and it's regional, but a fried soft shell crab sandwich is one of the greatest things on the planet.
100% true.
So good.
And I still don't even understand how they have a soft shell and you could eat them.
I think that the reason is, and it's kind of gross,
Pregnancy?
is that they have shed their outer harder shell, and then that shell that they now have is going to eventually be hard. But you caught them in that in-between phase where they just malted their hard shell, and that this hasn't got firm enough yet. I'm almost positive that's it.
The
It's a little
people
gross.
in Baltimore and even somewhat in D.C., they have no idea that they get. It's the only blue crabs,
Mhm.
I believe, in the world. And the whole summers are wrapped around these crabs, whether it's crab cakes, Old Bay and steamed crabs, and the soft shell sandwiches, where you can eat the whole crab for some reason. Gail believes it's a weird shedding process that takes place. I don't know. But, yeah, that's fantastic.
So good.
And you eat it there, and you're like, maybe I should live around here somewhere. You know what I mean? Maybe
You get these
I should
crabs all
become
the
a
time.
waterman. I'll get oysters. I'll fucking get crabs. I'll catch fish, catch shad. Life is good. But the Chesapeake, a lot of it's dead now. Like 70%, maybe
Yeah,
even
that's
more.
so
It's
sad.
completely dead. Look, it's happening all over the place. I'm telling you, when I flew over the Everglades, I was scared.
I couldn't believe when you told me that. I had no idea that was happening. That the Everglades are like dying
Yeah.
of thirst.
Right.
So
Yeah.
disturbing.
I don't know what it all is, but it looked like shit to me.
Hey, Chuck in Boston.
So, Ronnie,
Yeah.
you say that if you go down to Miami and have grouper sandwich, it's only good because you're in Miami. Well, does that go for Philly cheesesteak in Philly, or can you get one in New York that's just as good?
No, first of all, you can't get one just as good, and it's for one reason only. You're not going to get the good bread.
Yeah.
They have the best bread that's out there.
There has been one or two places in New York where they're like, oh, they're from Philly. They do a
Yeah.
cheesesteak. You got to check it out. And you're like, this is okay. It just isn't the same.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I suppose it somewhat scratches an itch, but it's not the
I
same.
guess if you could ship the bread in and do it that day, I know Las Spadas has done that. It's just not as good.
Also, the texture of the bread for a cheesesteak is very specific. Like, it's soft, but you don't want it too soft. But it's not hard like a hoagie roll. Like, you don't.
And it's not like you can't get a good sandwich, but you're not getting the same kind of sandwich.
Right.
And the same could be said, like, I don't really think you get a Chicago hot dog outside of Chicago.
Yeah. I mean,
You
just,
can make it, but it doesn't seem to have the same thing.
just like food, like you should live seasonally, you should also live regionally.
100%. That's why I will never eat Italian food. I will never do it. Unless I'm in Italy.
That's not too far from here.
Boat drinks. The boys in the band, they want boat drinks. Another big hit by Jimmy Buffett singing about boat drinks.
He's got nothing but big hits from the
Are you
sound of
a
it.
boat drinks fan, Chris? I know you like to swim up bar. So
He's
I
pretty much a
assume.
brown liquor guy.
I am.
But
yeah.
do you mess with a boat drink if you're in a warm climate?
Is a margarita count as a boat drink? Or is that...
It's borderline. I would
Yeah.
say no, it's not. I mean, if you're...
It's like a gateway boat drink.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a frozen margarita, which is a totally made-up thing.
Right, where it has sugar in it. A proper margarita should not be sweet. But I
Right.
guess a boat drink margarita does taste like a sugary lime drink.
I would order pina coladas if I'm in.
100%
That's a boat.
That's a boat drink,
Yeah.
and that's also something that's less than masculine.
Yeah.
It is. It's true.
Yeah. When I was
Pina
down
colada boy.
Mexico way, a lot of margaritas and a lot of pina coladas, and then I never have them again. Like, that's
Right.
it. Like, there's never a circumstance that would come up again.
You get crazy in Key West too. Like Key West is a place where you're like, I want to drink like this, and I want to live here. I think I want to smuggle weed. You know, and it seems to make total sense at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, when I was down in the Bahamas, I heard so much classic rock, right? So much ridiculous classic rock that was making me laugh. Then I got this idea for a movie. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I call it Undercover Singer, right? It's about a guy who is in a cover band, and they play all down in the islands, Haiti, and all along Central America, all the fucking hot spots, right? They basically play cover songs at hotels, but they're CIA or they're working with the CIA, and they're running shit out of there.
Oh, I like
but at
it.
night, they're like, taking care of business, right? So no one's going to suspect them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, they're still pretty good.
They're fucking good. I mean, they pull this shit off. By the way, I saw the best fucking cover band I think I've ever seen. Best tribute band. They're called Southern Accents. So I'm on the boat with it, and all they do is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and they're fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
Like I was
I would
literally
be
in fucking
excited to see
pit
that.
having the time of my life. I got to get something up on our social media. They're out of Nashville, so they're all fucking session guys,
Mm-hmm.
and they're amazing. They're literally amazing.
Oh, look who it is! Is old Janny.
Margaritaville.
Oh my! Oh, you heard
Hello.
us talking margarita, and then you called in. I see.
No, I was going to go back to your crab. You are correct, Gail. As a crabber myself,
Oh yes.
the soft shell crab, the crabs do molt, and they lose that hard shell, and before the new shell stiffens up, that's where you get the soft shells. They're very short term. Can't get them all the time, but they are delicious. I don't think I've ever caught one in all my years of crabbing.
First of all, no one believes you when you talk about delicious because you boil crabs. You don't steam them.
I don't always boil crabs. Sometimes I cook them in the sauce. Sometimes you cook them oregano.
You see what we're saying
It all
here?
depends.
My family, when I told them about Johnny, they go, he doesn't understand crabs. And when I showed him the big thing of crabs just steamed and everybody was eating them with Old Bay, Johnny said to me, and I quote, "What is that?"
I did not say.
He goes,
I did
"What
not
is that?"
say, what is that?
Some people
I
do
did not.
a seafood boil. Like they
Yeah,
throw
there's
everything
a-
in a pot of water, and I think maybe some hunks of corn too.
You know what's weird for me to
It's-
say is fucking Earl just ignoring Johnny.
Oh, that
When you used to kiss him up to him for so many years.
is it because it's seafood related and you don't eat
No,
any seafood?
it's because Johnny is no longer has the hammer over his head.
Oh, the hammer
No,
of the gods.
I still could swing it, but from afar,
You think you could still get him fired?
probably.
Then do it.
Prove your might to us, Johnny.
Earl is my legacy at that place now.
Yeah, it's sad. That's what all your
terrible.
years went to, leaving Earl behind.
I just, after I said that, I was like, damn, that's terrible.
I know.
Wait a minute.
I literally have figured this out as I've gotten older, that no matter who you are, your life means nothing. No matter what you've accomplished, it becomes dust. That's it. It's nothing.
That's why you shouldn't sweat anything.
I don't sweat the small stuff, and an asterisk, it's all small stuff. Johnny, where are you off to now? What Margaritaville?
Nowhere right now. I'm just New York based right now. Actually, New Jersey. I'm kind of working from home.
Yeah, I bet. By working from home, you're watching a lot of daytime TV.
How's Alan doing?
maybe a video game or two.
Did she scare someone today?
What'd you give
I
away?
did go. They're going to the city tomorrow for a day. That's interesting.
Are you really?
Pace.
Prostitutes or drugs?
The big city.
He's just gonna go to the Central Park Zoo. Ah.
Walk around.
I walked through there today on my way to work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, this fucking winter, nothing is happening.
No.
I mean, it is not winter.
No, it's not too bad out.
No. Unless, you're afraid of global warming.
Oh yeah, there's that. There's that thing.
Unless you have a beach house like Johnny does.
Getting a lot of use out of it during this winter.
Bow drinks.
I thought you always shut her down.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's been down there this winter. You can go down if you really want to, but not fun. Not fun at all.
I like to fucking lock in and be down there.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like recreate The Shining.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'm trying to even think of some good Key West movies, and there was one, I can't fucking remember it, but it was from the 70s.
I have one, and I'm trying to think. Was Night Moves in Key West?
Let's look it up. I believe that's the movie that I'm thinking of. Now put up Night Moves. I knew he was going to go to fucking Bob Seger.
That was
You were
Google.
the worst fucking... Sir, all you would have to do is put...
What is
No,
this
that's
Jesse
20
Eisenberg movie? Night Moves.
From the 70s, right?
Yes, it's a movie in the 70s, and
It's like a detective movie?
yes.
You know who's in it is the young... She was married to Don Johnson for a while.
Yeah.
And she's like...
And Gene Hackman's in it, too.
Gene Hackman. This is the movie, Night Moves. I haven't seen this in years. It's so fucking good.
Do you know why I knew what it was? It's my husband's favorite movie, and we have a poster in our house.
You're
of that
kidding
movie.
me.
Yeah.
It did take place in Key West.
Of course it did, Chris. We fucking got
Already
it. Already
established.
happened.
And you know what? He knows that from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's his
I
fucking
just
way of
got
getting things.
Night Moves right off the top of my head.
No, this is a movie I can't stream. I want to. I want to watch this.
Yeah, I don't think it's on streaming.
What's her name? The girl's name? Melanie Griffith.
Melanie Griffith.
Oh, wait. Did you just come right after me, Earl? Is that your way of helping?
Sorry.
Being a fucking echo? You got to be in front of me, dude.
No
So,
wonder why Johnny's so
She's so young in this movie, and she shows her tits.
Yeah, she's
And I
baby.
think she's like 15 or
And
something.
I think she also, I mean, she's a child. I think she plays a child.
Yeah. But she plays
Yeah.
a child who has sex.
Yeah, a sexy child.
Yeah. I think it takes everything Hackman has not to fucking be one of the guys.
Yeah.
Maybe he does do. I can't remember.
I think he wants to, but
All
he
right,
doesn't.
here's another movie I've been wanting to stream for years, and I can't find it anywhere. It's a Canadian film from 1981, and it's called Ticket. Don't look it up, Chris. You're driving me nuts. It's called Ticket to Heaven. I'm sure you've never heard of it
I
before.
don't think I have.
It's what do they call it? Genie Award winner or something with the Canadian Oscars. and
Juno.
Emmys? Juno, is that it?
Yeah, Juno
I
Award.
thought there was a genie too, though, for film. So it's about this guy from Toronto. He goes to L.A., gets caught up in a cult, and his parents and his friends go kidnap him, and they bring in like a deprogrammer, and it's really fucking, they go after. And I'm trying to think of the guy's names. It's Saul something is in this movie. Saul, still in fucking TV and movies now, but he was so young in this. You know what I mean? This is like the time of Meatballs, right?
Yeah.
When, and I can't fucking find it anywhere.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it, I don't think.
Ticket to Heaven.
Drives me nuts. When I think it's in the streaming world,
Yeah.
when you want to watch something and it's not streaming anywhere, it's like a slap in the face because we're so used to getting everything when we want it.
But I couldn't watch After Hours for a while. That's easily streamed. There's a movie called Cutter and Bone with John Hurd and Jeff Bridges is one of my favorite
Yeah, it's a
fucking
great
movies
movie.
of all time. But it's very weird to find some of these movies.
Ron, I have good news for you.
What's that?
An hour and 42 minutes and 50 seconds on YouTube, you could watch Ticket to Heaven, 1981, movie about religious brainwashing.
But I gotta watch it on YouTube. I can't watch it on my fucking TV.
Could hook it up.
No, I mean,
maybe.
I don't-
Fire
What
stick.
do I look like? Am I a Fire Stick?
What am I, a hacker?
I'd rather just watch Hackers. All right. Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
All right. Pretty good prize closet, Johnny. Take care.
Yeah. Give him something.
Earl, nice prize for Johnny.
Something good for him.
Why didn't you do that? Chris, why didn't you find out where I was streaming?
I should have. I apologize.
You know what I had that experience with not too long ago? I had a hankering to watch Wild at Heart, and I'm like,
Should be
sure,
there.
Sure, it's on Netflix. Nope, not on Prime, not on anything.
It's bizarre.
Not even on Disney Plus. No, why would it be? But it honestly was driving me nuts because I'm so used to being able to say, oh, I want something. I'd like to watch it immediately.
Chris Stanley, is there a movie you haven't been able to stream?
All right, there's a movie that terrified me as a child, and so I wanted to watch it as an adult, and I
Smart.
can't find it anywhere. Mask.
The Mask?
With Rocky Dennis?
With Rocky Dennis, yes.
That's got to be available.
It's not available. It's not anywhere. And it's fucking driving me
What
nuts.
That's not a horror movie. This is about a kid with a...
I understand that, but that's why I want to watch it again.
I understand. But if you were a smart person, you would have said, there was a movie I saw as a child. I loved it. It's called Mask. You'd be able to do the same thing.
Right.
Not act like you're horrified by a kid. You're like the people that were bullying that dwarf kid.
I never wanted to bully anyone.
You would have been mean to Mask.
I started having nightmares about Mask.
I've never.
Oh, shouldn't say that. You never
Yeah.
saw it?
I've only seen pictures of it. I remember, the
Cher was
poster.
in this movie. Anything with Cher should be able to be seen at all times.
I know.
All right, Earl's waving at me. There's a movie that you want to stream and you can't find.
I've loved Jim Jarmusch movies,
Who
and
doesn't?
they are very difficult to track down.
Look, we're talking specific. I can guarantee you I can go on right now and find Jim Jarmusch movies, but there's got to be one in particular.
Like Down by Law.
Saw it this winter.
You saw it this winter.
Mm-hmm. Great fucking movie.
Yeah, it is really good.
Great fucking movie.
I've noticed that some people say Jim Jarmusch and some people say Jim Jarmusch.
Those people are wrong.
I'm telling you,
Those people
I've
are
heard
very, very
both,
wrong.
And I'm like, it makes me uncomfortable. So I just call him Jimmy J.
Let's go to one, John in Buffalo.
Hey, John.
Hey guys, that Ticket to Heaven, that Saul guy, his name is Saul Rubinek.
He's
and he
so
is still acting. He's in
fucking
a lot of
good.
things.
Yeah, he's working all the time. He's actually in this new fucking TV show, The Hunters. But I'll tell you who he is. He was in the movie with the Clint Eastwood as the gunfighter who's old, and he is the guy that is his biographer. And he goes, I write, and he goes, what, like letters and such? And he had to explain to them what a book writer was.
And he's in True Romance, too, right?
Yes,
He's a director.
yes, he is. He's the Silver.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty good prize closet, John.
Yeah, John.
All right.
We're losing the prizes today.
Movies that you can't seem to find, and you're dying to see it again.
Hey, Chip in Houston.
Hey, I agree with that Mask. You can't find it anywhere. Every time I try to look for it, it brings up that Jim Carrey thing.
I know.
Oh yeah, that's another mass movie. Cher's in it, and who plays her boyfriend? He's like a tough guy.
I can't remember the boyfriend. He was a biker.
Because they're all bikers, yeah. And the bikers looked out for Rocky.
Yeah.
And that was, what's his name, Eric?
Stoltz.
Yeah, and it was like, he was so fucking good in that. He was like a cool fucking kid.
Yeah.
You're saying, yeah, but you had nightmares about him.
I liked the movie, but it also scared me.
The other movie is Better Off Dead. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that.
John Cusack
Love
movie.
that movie.
With,
Yeah.
I want my $2.
Yeah.
Can't find it anywhere.
That's weird. I guess some of these things, because, whatever the fucking deal is, you can't.
Yeah, that is weird because, like, so many of those other movies, same era, you know what I mean? It
Right.
feels like you never not seen
Oh,
those
100%.
movies. Yeah.
844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. This is a movie that you haven't seen in years. Joe in Richmond has a perfect one because I'm looking for this myself all the time.
Hey, Joe.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
I saw this on Prime Video last night. I'm 47 years old, and I can't believe I'm a huge fan of all music. And Stop Making Sense.
It's on now?
Yeah, it's on Prime.
I want to take you home. This is the Talking Heads music when they put all these African and black players in their band. Somebody fucking really good directed this too.
Jonathan Demme?
Maybe it's Jonathan Demme. It's fucking great. Now, this is the one that he had the big suit in, right?
Yes.
And for some reason, this is how stupid the fucking 80s is. All they ever fucking remembered is that he had a big suit, and they thought he was a weirdo.
Right.
This fucking concert is so good. 844 Rock God. 844 Rock God.
Hey, Scott. Scott in
Hey,
Atlanta.
what's going on, guys?
How's it going?
Hey. It's Sam Elliott, Cher's boyfriend in the mask.
Pretty good prize closet. The great Sam Elliott.
Thank you, buddy.
Now, Earl, who's running the phones today?
It's Vito.
Once we get one Sam Elliott, drop the Sam Elliott's have to say, oh, somebody's already called in with that. You have something else that you would like to discuss. That's the way we run the phones in the what business?
Radio business.
Radio business. The radio business.
Let's go to Mike in Canada.
Hey, how you doing? How about The Sting? Robert Redford and Paul Newman, my favorite movie of all time.
I feel like it's everywhere. I feel like you could not find the Sting.
That surprises
So
me.
put in the Sting streaming.
I
Yeah.
can't find it anywhere.
All right, let's take a look right now. Chris is going to look into it.
Looks like it's on Hulu. It's on Prime Video.
Prime
you gotta
Video.
get Prime, dude.
Gotta have the fucking Prime.
It's not just Netflix. You know what I
I'm
mean?
starting to really prefer Prime to everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Prime gets a lot of good rockumentaries.
I can't
and
remember
I love a rockumentary.
why I joined Prime. It must have been a TV show, a series that was coming out on Prime.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now,
Handmaid's Tale?
No, that's Hulu. I steal
Oh,
that
shit.
from you.
Oh, yeah.
Will you still love the show that's on Prime?
Hey, Mike in Boston.
Yeah, hey guys, a couple things. I think it was Mrs. Mizell on Amazon. You know, your rep or Chris, whoever said that.
You like this, Mizell?
You got to move. You guys got to move back to Philly. All these services. So YouTube is integrated on the Xfinity box, so you don't have to go searching for it. And if I could say one more thing, yesterday you guys were looking for shows that you love in 3 different medium, and I think the perfect one is Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights, the TV show, the book, and the movie.
I'll be honest, I don't like it in any of them.
I didn't even know it was a book.
Oh yeah, it started as a book. It's literally a nonfiction book.
Yeah.
And then all the fucking movies and stuff are fictional.
Right.
You know, they're just like Texas football. We love high school football in Texas. That's what it becomes. But the first one's like, oh, the book was like, isn't this weird? The way they like fucking high school football down here, I'm worried about them.
Jessica in Atlanta.
Hey guys, I have a movie that is my go-to New Year's Eve movie, and now I can't find it anywhere, and it's 200 Cigarettes.
I loved that movie.
I did too. The great Jay Moore. It was Kate Hudson, I think, her first movie. Elvis Costello was in it.
Nice little cameo.
It's
Yeah.
a good one, and I used to have it on DVD, and I should have taken it with me with my divorce, because now it's worth like hundreds of dollars.
Are you kidding me? you could be 100
You
air.
cannot get that movie. Yep, that could be me.
That's a
But
good-
just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Jessica. I also always think about that movie anytime someone says Ronkonkoma. It's like, I'm going back to Ronkonkoma. Remember the 2 girls who were in the city? Like,
Yeah.
my mom said, don't go past B. Like, she was
That
like,
was the
yeah.
best fucking line, and that was the most realistic line in that movie that you would be fucking terrified.
Yeah. Dawn in Long Island.
Hi. You remember Bugsy Malone?
Sure.
With Pat Bayo and Jodie Foster?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't find that anywhere. I love that movie.
All right, look up Bugsy Malone streaming, Chris.
Looks like you can rent it on Amazon.
Yeah, but that's not a free stream. Do you think that counts?
Well, it doesn't count, but for $2.35 or $2.99 or whatever,
Right.
I'm gonna watch Bugsy Malone.
All right, that's a good point.
The
Do that, Dawn.
soundtrack, written by the great Paul Williams, is unfucking believable.
Bugs in my lawn.
And that has always been a big musical play. People love it in London. Never fucking plays over here. I guess they don't like to use children in adult situations.
Right. Lisa in Missouri.
Hey, everybody. Happy third Wednesday.
Yeah, happy third Wednesday.
Well, tomorrow's my birthday. I'm thinking Thursday. Sorry.
Good for you.
Valley Girl, Nick Cage, one of his first roles.
It seems to me that does get some play. I mean, I'm a fan.
I have it on DVD, so it's not something I worry about. But
Right.
can you find it streaming anywhere, Chris?
According to JustWatch.com, which tracks all this, Valley Girl is nowhere. You can't stream it.
You're right,
I have it
Lisa.
on VHS.
Yeah.
You lost a lot when you lost me. Good fucking movie.
Chris in Canada.
Hey, a lot of the older John Wayne westerns are harder to find. Like Amazon Prime has a few of them. Like recently, I went through hell trying to find The Undefeated.
Now the thing is, when it's actually a lot of things don't stream as much if they were pre-cable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I went through a phase where I was just watching nonstop westerns on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go back and rewatch ones that those are ones that they pull quickly. You know what I mean? Like they would be on for like a very limited time, and it would kind of drive me nuts. So that would make sense to me if this one.
Your aunt was telling me she watches westerns all the time. She says it makes her feel comfort.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I went through a phase where it was like all I was watching.
I always will like a western,
Yeah.
and I like film noir.
Right.
I just want a town without pity. I just want fucking people driving around.
But I do like a smart, gritty western. I'm not crazy about like a dusted up kind of like song and dance western.
You want a 1960s western.
Yeah, I like a gritty western.
You want
I prefer it.
You want McCabe and Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Where you're fucking at the end of it. You're like, maybe we're bad people.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe we did some horrible things.
Zach in Kentucky.
Hey, guys, I got 1990, The Ski Patrol.
Oh, Ski Patrol was a little bit of a cult movie from what, the 80s?
90.
90?
89, 90.
Yeah. Never appealed to me, but I know that some people always like it.
I've never seen this movie, and it looks like one of those movies. It is just weird. Like that's the same idea, like that some will just drop off.
Right.
Both of those skiing related though, which is kind of interesting. Hey, Tony in Baltimore.
Hey, sorry. Dick Tracy.
Big flop. Big flop
Yeah.
movie.
I know I saw it in the theater.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I saw it here. I enjoyed it a lot. I kind of want to see how it holds up.
Apparently, Cinemax has a streaming network, and it streams on there. I don't know anyone who has a
I
Cinemax
did not
streaming
know.
Well, I mean, if you get Cinemax, you get the streaming network,
Right.
right?
Okay,
Isn't
yeah.
that the deal?
Mark in Buffalo.
Hey, Bennington, what's up?
How's it going?
Movie I watched a ton as a kid, and I can't find it anywhere without paying for it. Joe versus the Volcano and Meg Ryan.
It was just playing on regular TV not too long
Oh,
ago. One of the cable things, yeah, because I went back and watched it, and I told you the joke that bombed for me when I was on the cruise, right?
Mm-mm.
So you got Joe. Here's what I wanted to do with the Impractical Jokers. I wanted a spinoff with Joe and Sal and call it Joe versus the Volcano. And a bigger laugh with you two guys than I got in a room with 300. It just laid there. And I go, none of the guys have ever apparently seen much Tom Hanks. It's a tough room. Guys clapping with nunchucks.
Mark in Toronto.
How you doing? My favorite food movie of all time is Big Night.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, I like that movie too.
I can't find it anywhere. I've been looking for years. Even on DVD, it's hard to find. And it's such a great movie. Louis Prima soundtrack. And
Yeah, it's fun.
Isabella Rossellini. Yeah.
No.
Not streaming
No,
anywhere?
That's not
It's
it.
a different Big Night.
That's
Oh
saying
my God!
That was
He's
porn.
put Big Night, Big KNIGHT.
You could get it on Prime Video.
Prime
Oh,
Video.
get Prime, dude.
Does that mean you gotta buy it?
Right on. Thanks.
No,
I didn't
this
know.
means you can
Beauty.
stream it.
Okay, good. Good news for Mark. See, I actually like when somebody gets a good answer. You know, I hope you're wrong.
844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. Dave in Santa Cruz, he's got one of those pre-cable movies on line 9. Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, I love the movie Papillon. Steve McQueen, Dustin Hoffman. Best scene in the movie when he wakes up at the island with the Polynesian people.
Well,
That takes me back.
you know,
So great.
this is part of young Dustin Hoffman where every movie that he did, you couldn't fucking recognize him from the movie before.
Mm-hmm.
And the great Steve McQueen, I don't ever turn off Steve McQueen movies. Never.
Yeah.
And one day we were telling Florentine he got a haircut, and we're like, "You look like young Steve McQueen." And he got mad. I go, "Wait, I couldn't give a bigger fucking compliment."
Why would he be mad at that?
I don't know. I think the only thing I could say that would be better is you drive like Steve McQueen.
Chris in Philly.
Hey guys, I can never find the When We Were Kings documentary about the Ali Foreman fight.
Yeah, man, it's a great fucking documentary.
Yeah.
You can't find it anywhere.
HBO Go, my friend.
Yeah, HBO
Go.
Oh, that's good.
Get involved.
You got to get it. Dave in Columbus.
Hi. Back in the 80s when I lived down south of Clearwater, I was on acid and I watched Cannonball Run 1 and Cannonball Run 2. And to this day, you can't find Cannonball Run 2 anywhere.
Right.
Unless you want to pay the price and,
Dave,
for a CD out of Australia.
Your story did not need you giving us the place that you saw it or the amount of drugs that you were doing. All you have to do is tell us that you haven't seen Cannonball Run 2. Now, obviously, that was just a money grab. It was fucking ridiculous. The first Cannonball Run was a big fucking hit. The second one was like, let's just make some more money with that cannonball shit.
Mike in Kansas City.
Yeah. How about the ninth configuration with Stacy Keach and Scott Wilson, Robert Loggia, and Neville Brand?
I don't think I even
early
know.
80s.
I like the sound of the
Yeah,
past.
Yeah, I mean,
Is it a horror movie?
You guys haven't seen it. No, it's actually a pretty good premise about military types in the insane asylum. Scott Wilson plays an astronaut that loses it on the launching pad because he's scared. He's on his way to the moon, and he gets marooned up there to truly be alone, and he freaks out on the launching pad in an insane asylum with all these other guys. And
I don't know what's wrong with your phone, but I do want to see this movie.
Yeah,
now.
me too.
All right, this is movies that we can't seem to find on any kind of streaming service. And let's face it, this is the year fucking 1997. We have a right to see every fucking movie we want, the time we want to see it. 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. Don in L.A., what do you got, buddy?
I'm just trying to watch Amadeus, man.
Well, first of all, that song "Rock Me Amadeus" is so fucking good. But it does seem like we should be able to see Amadeus anytime we want. It is a good movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people tell me it was a better play than movie. Chris?
I'm saying that look, you can rent it on Amazon.
That's all I wanted from
Yes.
you. That's all I wanted. I'm never going to ask you your opinion for a fucking movie.
I realized that as soon as I started saying
Oh.
it.
I am saying, Chris, no one wants your opinion.
Understood.
I'm only kidding. Did you like it even?
Amadeus, yes, I was a big fan. Watched it on a flight.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I think it was a casting problem.
Oh, really?
I don't find Amadeus himself to be a believable person playing that.
You thought he was too, modern?
I thought he was just not good enough in that role. There was talk in the beginning of when they were putting that together about using a Sting or a David Bowie, using a rock star, right, to play what would have been the rock star of that time.
Bowie would have been great.
Yeah, I think Sting could have been interesting too. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then maybe you wouldn't need him to be that kind of silly. That kid played himself like he was a 12-year-old boy instead of an irresponsible rock star. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want him to play like fucking Conrad Birdie, like a guy who's got because his talent is so great, he doesn't understand how fucking weird he's being in the rest of his life.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's being abusive and everything. But that guy played it timid, like a little boy.
Right, and like silly and
Yeah.
frantic sometimes.
Yeah, he's silly instead of a guy who fucking thinks he's so talented that he's a dick.
Yeah.
And we have many examples of that. Like Prince would have been perfect in that fucking role.
That's a good point. Like he was a dick, but like kind of like a toddler being
Right.
bad or something. Where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you should behave this way, but I guess you don't know any better.
He had an innocence to him, but you really want to play it as like Prince played the kid in Purple Rain, that a guy who was paying so much attention to his own talent was never satisfied with it, that he didn't understand how
Right.
the rest of the world was feeling.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Let's go to Ray in Boston.
Hi, Bennington.
Hey.
Michael Caine's first movie, the great action movie Zulu. I can't find it anywhere to stream.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
A movie that keeps
You're
being
not doing
Zulu
it nasal enough.
after Zulu after Zulu.
And you're not doing it when the voice is broken.
There's too many Zulus here for Michael Caine to deal with. Have you found it?
Seems you can stream it on something called Tubi and something called FlixFling.
Okay, I don't have either of those.
But a Tubi, I think, is free, but you get commercials with it.
Yes.
I don't want a fucking commercial. Just want not Michael Caine. Again, because that's from like the 60s, like 1960, they don't seem to be as readily as available as anything after the cable
Right.
era. Seems like when you said to your movie, you're going on cable, and somehow they got in the loop more.
Right.
Because look how many movies have been made. You can't fucking see them all.
Yeah, but then there were always like the cable movies that you're like, oh God, I've seen this 100 times.
100 times, yeah.
And then you're gonna sit there and watch it, and it's like not even your favorite movie, and you don't know why you know a movie so well. Like,
But one of the first movies I saw, Chilly Scenes of Winter, was on cable. It was the first time that I was like, oh, this movie's back on again. I'm going to watch it. And then I started to think about the movie other than just sitting and enjoy it. I'm like, who fucking wrote this? Who's, why
Right.
did they make those choices? You watch movies differently when you see them over and over.
right, because your first experience with it is just the story.
Right, you're just like, oh, I'm watching, I'm in it.
I can't believe that guy got killed.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You're making the stupid face we all make when we're
Jeez, I wanted this to be true. Holy shit, I just remember what that fucking premise was. So, it was about you when you were a little girl and you were crying when you saw Bambi.
Mhm.
And I was like, why are you crying? And he says, because Bambi's mother's died. I go, you're crying over a drawing. Do you understand what you're doing right now? You're letting a drawing make you cry. This isn't real. Guys, draw this and color it in. Be like, would you cry at a coloring book? Or would you... Oh, thank God I thought of that again. I don't need to write it down. It's right here. That's not even it's not even a joke. It's just bad parenting.
Hey, Jason in South Carolina.
Yeah, how about the old Dustin Hoffman Marathon Man?
You know, I've never been a big fan of the movie. Everybody always remembers the dentist thing. Look where it's playing.
Tubi.
Tubi. We're watching Tubi doo.
Russ in Texas.
Yeah, Exit to Eden. You can't find it.
Well, didn't that one even have some censorship kind of problems?
Yeah, it was very sexy.
Well,
It's not-
sexy's a giant gang rape. That's what you consider sexy,
Oh my
Chris?
God, Chris. Why would
There
you?
was a gang rape in that?
No.
I don't see it streaming.
Oh, I have the. No, I was thinking Last Exit to Brooklyn.
Oh.
There's a gang rape in that. Exit to Eden is just the opposite of sexy. It's supposed to be like an S&M
Oh, I
fucking
remember this movie.
island, and it's just terrible. It's just so bad.
No, good show.
No, it's terrible.
No.
And there's stuff where they had to do reshoots. So Rosie O'Donnell, you just see her in one scene being 50 pounds heavier than she was in the scene before. Because when the movie was over, she just went back and started eating like Rosie.
It's nowhere.
Nowhere.
Let's go to John in Kansas.
Hey, I really liked Ben Foster and Woody Harrelson in The Messenger, and it used to be on Netflix, but it's not there anymore. I
never watched this movie. It seemed too sad for me.
Yeah, that does seem
It's
sad.
about guys that are going around and tell people that their kid was killed in there.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I do. What is it, Earl?
No, I had one movie that streamed.
Is this about you?
No.
See, no, I'm going to give it to you. But let me set the table again,
Yes.
right? We're talking about movies that we can't seem to find on streaming. 844 Rock God. Look over here. Our friend Earl's got one. Earl, what do you got?
I got a great Robert Altman movie, I believe, from the mid-'90s called Shortcuts.
Here's the thing. If you watch Shortcuts and then you watch Magnolia, Paul Thomas Anderson went from, is this an homage or are you just totally copying?
Really? I've never seen Shortcuts.
Shortcuts is a very good movie. It's got all the great fucking people in it, and it's an LA movie that is all these people who are separate and they come together. Tim Robbins plays this asshole cop. He's great in it. And there's also a Julianne Moore scene where she's bottomless for a lot longer than you thought. Think a
Interesting.
person would be
Yeah.
bottomless for a movie. Everybody remembers that. And also, Huey Lewis in the News is taking a long, deep piss. It's a little bit of a distance, but you don't normally see a guy pissing in a movie. Altman's great. Have you seen the documentary, Altman?
I have not yet.
Yeah, why? You're sitting here acting like, oh, I got to see all the Altman stuff. That's
It's right
streaming.
there. It's
You can
streamed.
watch it. Altman's so fucking good.
Hey, Frank in New Jersey.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's your movie,
Hello?
Frank? Yes, Frank, what's your movie?
Oh, League of Their Own. I went on Sunday to find it.
Oh, that I had to drop
First
that.
of all,
just-
it's not true. League of Their Own is like on regular television.
yeah, that's one that I feel like I've seen so many times because it's always on.
I feel so many times I feel like I could end
Yeah.
up paying for the peaches.
It's also on Fubo TV.
What?
For us, by us.
That's weird because that's back-to-back 2 long pisses in a movie. Charlie and
But this one's full frontal. The other Shortcuts is full frontal.
Charlie in Delaware.
Hey there. When I was a kid, I saw the movie The Party with Peter Sellers, and all I remember is walking around the next day saying "Birdie Num Num." I'm sure Ron knows the movie.
Not only do I know the movie, I turn my kids onto it, and now it's considered in bad taste, of course.
Yes, but I have it on DVD. But is it streaming, Chris? Can he stream it?
You can rent it on Amazon.
Just if you throw
Thank-
down a couple bucks.
Yeah. And, I mean, this is for the people who miss Apu.
Right.
Now, I saw a thing New York Times about the Apu character being gone, and the guy who voiced it. What's his name?
Harry Shearer. No, that's not Harry Shearer.
Hank Azaria.
Thank you. Could you two switch spots, please? I would like to just move guys around. You know what I mean? We talk about that all the time. But Hank Azaria is kind of acting like it was his idea.
Really? It's like it was on me. Let's go to David in Texas.
Hey, Bennington.
Hey, David.
Hey, my movie is Get Crazy. I saw it once when I was a kid on cable TV, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere else.
My head immediately went to Stir Crazy. So Get Crazy is about what?
It's about the last show at the Fillmore in San Francisco.
I don't think I've seen this movie.
Daniel Stern, isn't
Daniel
it?
Stern. It also has some guys, a couple of guys from the band Fear. Malcolm McDowell plays some big, crazy, super rock star.
I've never seen it.
There's an alien robot drug dealer. It's a really cool movie.
First of all, you just really turned me off with that. But do you know this movie?
No, not at all.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, me too.
It is not available.
Well, we just found out it existed. Now I feel disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
This is the worst news. Let's go to Pat in Montana.
Yeah, my favorite movie I can't find is Rad, the BMX movie from the 80s that has Aunt Becky in it.
Yeah, I've seen this once. I saw it when I was in college. It's kind of like some they're like
Awesome.
have little like
Now-
thing about it, but
Did you see who the director is?
No, who is
Hal
it?
Needham. And Hal Needham was the guy who did those Burt Reynolds movies that we
Oh,
were
really?
talking about earlier. But he's also the guy that some people act like Brad Pitt based his character on
Mhm.
because in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because Hal Needham came up just being the stunt coordinator on all the Burt Reynolds movies, and they were buddies. And then at some point, Burt was like, "You ought to just direct the next one, as much as these assholes."
I love that.
It's not available anywhere except
Damn it.
DVD.
Andrew in Toronto.
Hey, Bennington. That last call's amazing. I forgot about Rad. Early Christian Slater movie called Gleaming the Cube, where he's a little skateboard guy who solves his adopted brother's murder.
There's no streaming on that whatsoever, Andrew.
Yes. It's just
It's amazing. You gotta check it out.
And I felt like it was the same thing of that fair is fair. Remember that he was in that with his sister, and she had cut her hair, and all the kids around the world were starting to be on her side. You know what I'm talking about, Earl?
Yeah, it's Helen Slater.
Yes.
And
Christian
oh,
Slater's
God, I
the
can't-
younger one. It became like a cult classic.
Let's go to John in PA.
You're just talking about Legend of Billie Jean there?
Thank you very much, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to bring up a movie I used to watch when I was on HBO in the 80s called Fortress. It was like an Australian movie. It used to scare the crap out of me.
It's not streaming anywhere. And what's that actor's name, Chris?
It's Highlander. That's
Yeah.
Christopher Lambert.
Thank you, Earl. God
Oh,
damn it,
God,
Chris.
you guys should
You're
really
getting fucking
switch.
smoked today, brother.
You really should.
How could I not know Christopher Lambert?
That's good, Chris. I like that.
Bill in Toronto.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of this singer-songwriter called Ron Sexsmith from Toronto,
Uh-huh.
and Netflix made a documentary about him called Love Shines, and it was the reason I got my Netflix subscription in the first place. Well, since they've dropped it, it's not available anywhere. I actually contacted Ron Sexsmith, who sent me to the production company, who won't return my calls or emails.
Wow, that's crazy.
You're so dedicated. I love this, Bill.
I like the fact that you could just go over to his house, but you can't get the movie. All right, Gail, this never happens, but your mom just sent one to
Okay.
me. This was a Florida movie, probably from the 80s, called Honky Tonk Freeway. And it was, again, one of those things where you see all the characters at different places, but then they come together
Okay.
at one point. But it was the story about this little town, and it's a comedy, and like I-95 comes in and doesn't give them an exit. So the whole town is going to die because they don't get an exit. I had a great-grandmother that this happened with her gas station.
Oh,
She had a
man,
little
yeah.
gas station, a motel in the Jacksonville area. They brought in the highway and
just ran-
bypassed.
Oh.
Now all the traffic is,
Yeah.
and you're just like, they dried up. Where can we see this at?
You can stream it on the Criterion channel or rent it on Amazon or YouTube.
I get the Criterion channel because Earl talked me into it, and I never go there
Oh no, really?
because their fucking interfacing is so shitty and dumb. It's like a 90s website.
God,
so
that
fucking
sucks.
hard to get around.
I
Yeah.
was thinking about getting it because somebody told me that they were going to do some sort of Criterion collection of Paris is Burning, the documentary Paris is Burning.
About Paris Hilton.
No, it's about drag
Getting-
queens in
Oh.
New York.
I was thinking of one where Paris Hilton got VD, and that's also called Paris is Burning. I guess it had to do with her coochie. Talking about movies that we're having a difficult time streaming. 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God.
Let's go over here to Corey in Ohio.
Yes. How about the movie Kids?
The movie Kids is all almost like, you're almost in trouble if you're caught watching this
Yeah,
movie.
it's borderline.
It's not available anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's decided. It went from being like a classic to, if you watch this, you're a bad person. And there's another one he did that's sort of a special needs kid that is sexual.
I just got a text from
Yeah.
someone, from Dennis Dugan, who just said Brain Donors is a
Yeah, let's-
movie he cannot find streaming.
This is from what year?
Brain Donors.
1992.
Now, let's just check to see if Dennis Dugan is in it.
Cross-check this reference right now. We're pulling up brain donors.
Directed by Dennis Dugan.
Oh, Bob Nelson is in this movie. Bob Nelson was a Long Island comic who was very, very hot off of, I guess, a Dangerfield special. Like, he literally became a draw right after that special.
And a very baby-faced John Turturro.
Wow, let's take another look at John Turturro.
Yeah.
See, this makes me want to see it for so many different reasons. I didn't even recognize
I know, he
Turturro.
looks so young. Looks like you can buy it from Amazon.
Yeah. No, you can't rent it. You can only buy from
Yeah.
Amazon or YouTube.
I might do it.
Yeah, me
Good,
too.
Good call. Let's go to Andy in Allentown.
Yeah, hi, Bennington. The Wildlife 80s movie with...
This was the follow-up to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Which is Cameron Crowe wrote it but did not direct it. And it was like it's extreme type of movie. Like it's these young guys that all move out. And it's not a great movie. And yet it was terribly watchable. Leah Thompson was one of the first things I remember. Christopher Penn was in this movie, and I don't know why you can't get to rewatch it. But if you like Fast Times and you like where Cameron Crowe eventually went, this would be of interest to you. Can we see it anywhere?
Cannot see it anywhere. It is not available.
It is one of those things. And who did the song of the Wildlife? There was somebody, it's a kind of a cool 80s song, the theme song.
Bananarama.
Yeah.
I did not know this movie
Find the
existed.
song and see if any of you guys even recognize the song, because this was only the theme song in the movie.
Okay.
But Christopher Penn is fucking great in it. He's kind of the Belushi of the movie. Get to the hook.
Oh, I like this song.
Yeah. But
That's a good chorus.
you would just think that there would be some interest in this.
No, I didn't even know it existed.
Americana? What do you want?
No, just latte.
Okay. I forgot. I got cashmere here.
Yeah, it's a dish day.
Thanks for everybody who called in. That was maybe we need to do this every once in a while and
know.
just catch up on the streaming movies. And you know, you for one need to know everything that happened in Dennis Dugan's
I know.
career
100%.
in front of and behind the camera.
Bennington will be right back.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show. Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show.
Bennington is back, and it's Wednesday, so it's time for Dish, brought to you by Dish, tuned in to you. And, of course, our host of Dish. Is that Cashmere?
Hi, guys. Cashmere.
How we doing?
You can watch The Bachelor with Cashmere every Monday at Professor Tom's in New York City and read his column Did You Hear with Cashmere every Wednesday at theibang.com.
And are you still doing your podcast?
I'm still doing the podcast. Yeah, not another true crime podcast for betches. We're getting all done.
Betches.
I know we're doing a double whammy of Casey Anthony.
Oh,
Which is, I know. That's
Boy.
some dish.
Yeah. She got
During
away with it.
the Casey Anthony trial, I was unemployed.
Oh, so you were, that was.
So I watched a lot of Casey Anthony. Like, a lot. I watched every morning.
I remember when that was all going down and people were like so sure she was guilty. I go, she's going to walk. And they go, why would you say that? I go, it's Florida. No one watches their kids in
I
Florida.
legitimately, I was one of those people who I was watching it obsessively, but I was literally paying attention, and I was like, she's going to watch. They did not do a good job because they just focused on a little bit of slut shaming.
Yeah, that's
and
what.
they didn't think that they had to prove anything.
Yeah, 'cause they're just like, she drinks beer in a dress. And everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, what? Yeah.
Now, do I think she did it? Yes, I do. I do. But I don't think that they presented the best case.
But if I am on the jury and they prove that the woman's a slut, that's all I need. She's had sex with 2 other men.
Yeah. As a mother, too. I mean,
Yeah, as
come
a
on.
mother.
What is that?
Casey.
Crop top?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, she did it. But,
Oh, she did it.
yeah.
And that kind of goes into play with some, she did it because we're starting with what's love got to do with it.
What's love but a second emotion?
I feel like she also gets a ton of like engagement proposals too. People love,
Oh, yeah.
people that do crimes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Like the Ted, yeah, they all, because Jodi Arias gets a lot.
Right.
It's weird. So if you're single, go behind bars, I guess.
Yeah.
I know Anthony wanted to have sex with Casey Anthony.
Oh, really?
Really?
He was dying to. Tried to get her on the show.
Wow.
Didn't work out.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, we all know obviously the Harvey Weinstein news that
Oh.
broke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about heartbreak. And guys,
So he's single in jail. Yeah. So anyway, but his ex-wife Georgina Chapman moved on the day she was spotted with a new man the day he was found guilty. Adrian Brody.
this is one of the few things that she could have done that was even more disgusting than being married to Harvey Weinstein. Look at him there with the big J gloves on.
Why is he wearing
He's a
riding
fucking
gloves?
idiot.
Why
He's a
is he
douche.
wearing riding gloves?
I don't. Yeah, just full leather riding gloves with a watch. Like they don't go together either. You can't have two statements on.
Here's the thing. Who did he win his Oscar for? Who was the director, everybody?
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski.
Oh, no!
You got a fucking type,
I also love because she faced controversy for like 2 seconds with everything because people were going to boycott her designs, and now everyone's like, I'm not going to not boycott. Like,
Yeah.
So she's kind of been getting off scot-free, but this has been an interesting twist for everyone feeling this.
Do you, can you imagine what a relief it was for her when he was out raping other women and not
she's
being,
just like,
knocking him,
thank
putting himself on
God.
top of her?
She's like, oh, no one's home. She's like, I'll just design for Mark Casey.
You have some rapes to do? Get out of the house already.
She's just DMing Adrian Brody on Instagram. Hey, no, almost free.
There's never
You
been.
left one of your gloves.
I mean, the piano, right? He won the Oscar for it,
Yeah.
which no one has seen.
No.
And anyone who has seen it is bored.
In fact, sometimes when I'm thinking about the piano, I think I get confused with The Pianist or Rush or something like that.
Right.
I get them all mixed up.
Hey, Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, because the piano's the Anna Paquin one, right, with the little baby.
Okay, so he's the pianist, but then Rush is the one where he shits in the bath, or did
Yes.
Adrian Brody
No.
shit in the bath? That's
No.
where I get confused.
Rush sits in the back.
Okay.
We're talking about Rush Limbaugh.
We don't know. Maybe Georgina will talk about what he does in the bathroom sometime. I feel like she might. Yeah, so I feel like this will be a short-winded relationship, but it is kind of funny timing that the time they go public is she's like, well, I guess I'm trending already. I want to add something else with it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. And speaking of some more lovebirds, Amanda Bynes was spotted with her fiance. Now we know the name, Paul Michael, kissing outside of an IHOP.
Oh, that's a romantic
Yeah.
restaurant.
And it's a little, she has a cigarette in.
I'm for her. I really am.
She has she's smoking a cigarette. She's wearing sweats, and she has one of those fanny packs from the 90s.
And you want to know what's so bad? It's a clear fanny pack, and you can see an open tampon in it.
Oh my God!
Something about
So
her is
people
great.
are hoping that like the IHOP bathroom, the female one, has a few little unusedies. We hope for her, but she got her
that's
big gulp.
So great.
Yeah, and she just is she's also kind of like in a Britney moment going through the conservatorship, that word. And she's trying to beg for her own freedom to get to like have her own money and stuff like
That'd
that.
be going in a week.
To plan her wedding, because she wants to plan her wedding to her drop dead gorgeous Paul. That's how she says. Her voice has been going through the motions. That's how she says drop dead gorgeous Paul.
He looks like anybody from Staten Island.
Yeah, he's like big.
I think
like
he's gonna be good for her.
right. He's big like the lead manager at Spencer's Gifts. You know what I mean? That's kind of where she's like, that's my man.
That's cool. Because like he's working at Spencer's Gifts, she's at Hot Topic right now. It makes a lot of sense.
He's like,
Where she got her.
Yeah, and Auntie Anne's love.
He's like, babe, don't forget to clear fanny pack. Go to the mall. Got to clear fanny pack? All right, let's go to the mall.
Oh yeah, there's the open tampon. $2,
right.
some chapstick, a Post-it note. Yeah, she's going. At least she's comfortable.
By the way, that's not hygienic, by the way. If the tampon is opened, please don't put the applicator in.
No.
You know what I mean? You don't want purse dust going up there.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Like some syrup residual from IHOP, from your like stack of pancakes going
That's
up there.
done. That's trash now. Cash.
And so for some not together relationship, Pete Davidson has finally started to comment on Ariana Grande.
Yeah, because he's got this new
the new special out. So he talked about her with Charlemagne in a YouTube interview, and then he talked about her in her new special. And so he was saying that he knew the engagement was over the day Mac Miller died, which I feel like it's kind of like that
the day Mac Miller died,
and I was thinking
bye. Now here's the thing: everybody has a special coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
No one gets any heat. This fucking kid's in every newspaper around the country, and they all have different fucking quotes.
Yeah.
He gets his shit out there.
He really does.
I don't know who
You're
his
right.
publicist is, or if he just does it, or he just is a spewer, but he's been, you can't go on the internet without seeing him.
And nothing is like positive, but the attention is there, and I'm like, I gotta see this.
Right. Everyone's going to be talking about it, so we've got to.
He's basically badmouthed everybody at SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
surprised.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
really was shocking to me.
Right?
Doesn't shock
Well, it's good you go into, because now the next segment, because he's been everywhere, we're dedicating to him. Thank you next. For a little peek.
So fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you.
So they both are thriving now, and kind of what you're saying. So he badmouthed all of SNL, and he was like, "I'm either quitting or they're gonna fire me because they just think I'm dumb." And he's mad of how they portray him. And I'm kind of in the boat where I'm like, I feel like that's sort of what what they have him do is sort of who he is and his character. Like,
Right.
I can't imagine him doing being like a cat lady in like a costume.
Right. And I think he said as much. He was like, look, I'm not really going to do characters. So, you know what I mean? You're going to have to do
something.
Yeah.
I also like that. So he goes on SNL. Yeah, I'm not doing characters, whatever you guys call that. I'm gonna do me. And then he's like, "Why are people calling me like a dumb young stoner?" And we're like, "Well, that's what you kind of you are."
And also, I think just like we were saying, they've never been in a circumstance where somebody is getting this much attention.
Yeah, exactly.
This would be somebody who they would be talking about and parodying.
Yeah.
So they have to handle it somehow.
Right? I know. I would have loved if it'd be something like, I don't know if like Adie Bryant was dating someone, having her in the hot seat, or Cecily Strong going up with Mark Ruffalo.
Right.
But we don't have that, even though I feel like they'd be cute together.
That's exactly true. And people know Pete Davidson, not Cecily Strong. She's been there longer. She uses the show better. But he's a legitimate celebrity. He's a legitimate celebrity.
Like cover star, tabloid, paparazzi type situation. Because I feel like all the other, even Tina Fey said something on the Tonight Show this week. She was like, I would take the train every day. No one cared. No one really looked at me or anything like that. But he's now at a new level because of
100%.
like Ariana Grande's fandom and stuff like that, that he's in this untouchable type of situation.
And even from the point of celebrity, right? I mean, I think you really got to go back to Kinnison and Dice before a stand-up was looked at like this. I mean, even Cat Williams is not, he didn't date stars. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. This kid is as well known as if he was a movie star.
Yeah. And it's sort of like it's his new career in a sense, or it's given him like a career resurgence, taking it to a level that no one else can really match.
I guarantee you more people are going to see his special than other people's specials. And when the movie comes out, it's going to get a lot of fucking attention.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get more attention than movies that are probably better because he's a celebrity.
Didn't it feel like so overnight with this too? Yeah. Like I remember even his initial first getting attention. And I was like, seems like everybody's talking about Pete, which is weird. And then all of a sudden it was like,
I remember his first night on the show while we were watching because, he had done this show, 6, 7 years? You know what I mean? Yeah. We knew him for a long time. Always liked him. Thought he was a great kid, but he was really the kid. He was like the 19-year-old hanging out with fucking, Big J. When he was on and he was just doing himself, he trended. Number one.
Yeah.
The little girls were writing in as he was on. I'm like, this is fucking great for Pete. But once he got Ariana Grande, he went into another Justin Timberlake type thing.
Truly, yeah.
And that just doesn't seem like a comfortable place to be.
It is a place, though. You know what I mean? Like, most people think their whole life, how do I get there? You know what I mean? I want to be a star. He is. That last little girl that he broke up with, she got a bump off of him.
Because no one knew about her really until him. Yeah, Kaya Gerber,
Yeah.
And that was her whole, he broke up with her because he doesn't want her to deal with his damage. But now she has, she gained so many followers because for a while she was just Cindy Crawford's daughter, she's gorgeous and pretty, but she kind of got the Gigi Hadid treatment now as a model.
I'm still not used to this. You clicked it again and I was like, what is this? I'm thinking it's her mom. She looks so much like her mom.
What a face, man. What a little face. And she's a child.
Oh,
she's still got teen in there.
But look, it could be her mother. It's
unbelievable.
So weird.
That is wow.
I'm going to give you something. I think she's probably sexier than her mom.
You think so?
I think she's got more of a thing.
Well, maybe there's more sexiness where her mom had the beauty elegance more.
Yeah, her mom was almost like the movie star next door.
That's true.
But she's got a little bit of bad girl thing, but so her career's taken off.
Yeah, and I feel like because she has that, everyone is giving her that bad girl edge because with Pete Davidson, they're like, she's dating this guy with tattoos,
maybe
who smokes weed, broke up, all this stuff, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, and now Kaya Gerber baby. Yeah, she's
a Gerber baby.
Gerber, the new Gerber baby. And then also in the special, I haven't watched it yet, but Pete talks about how he feels Ariana Grande is now fair game to talk about, which, sure. She was like, but he was making comments about how she did a whole album about him. Why did people feel like he couldn't do stuff about her? And on top of that, he rescinded the apology that SNL made him give Dan Crenshaw, the politician who had the eye patch. Yeah, eye patch. And he was saying, I didn't want to apologize for that, so I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
But the damage is done.
Yeah. Well, then one more thing is he was ripping Louis C.K. and he claims that Louis tried to get him fired.
Really?
Yeah. He goes, Louis went in and told Lauren that all I do is smoke pot and you should fire me. And I'm like, Louis probably looking at this going, what are you talking about? Like, probably if anything, Louis would be like, hey, we better keep an eye on this kid. You know what I mean? But Louis doesn't go around trying to get people fired. That's not his thing.
Yeah, because he was saying that Jorik, like when the season finale happened, Louis saw Pete smoking weed and was like, "You're throwing your career away. I'm gonna tell on you." And I was like, "Okay."
Just weed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know I've been the reviews have been mixed on the special, but also it's one of those things. Every single outlet has reviewed it, which I feel like doesn't totally happen. Yeah.
Does not happen. You're 100% correct about that.
And I feel like it's one of those ones where it's like whenever you open Netflix too, it's the first, it's just only promoted. It's that and then Love is Blind, which is a good combo to be in. And we all should be watching. Love is Blind is ending tonight too. So that'll be my special. I know.
No.
Poor Nick Lachey. Poor Nick and Vanessa. So now we're going on to some creep news.
But I'm a creep.
So I know we were talking last week about Prince Andrew having a little B-Day party and that there are not a lot of guests that were coming.
Yeah.
And then it turned out, so when it happened, even his siblings dipped out. So he was just really eating birthday cake basically alone. Oh, no. It's one of those ones I wish a photo like would leak of it, just like him with a giant birthday cake, just looking for anyone, a shoe to click to the clock. Yeah, so he was just really, it was him and Queen Elizabeth, his mom, and then some Yorkies.
Yeah, that's, oh man. Yeah, I would have assumed that most people who would have attended would have been very, very forced.
Well, like truly hands tied, or almost at the thing in the way that Bloomberg is paying people to tweet for him. Like, I will pay you $3,000 to come to my son's birthday party.
Right.
That's just Queen Elizabeth sending that out.
I wonder if Adrian Brody and the Lady Weinstein went. I feel like they would have been comfortable.
Oh, they would have loved it. He's like, what gloves should I wear to drive? Yeah, so it was only 50 people, and last year he had around 250. So it's a big cut for Prince Andrew, and I guess that's just what happens. It goes to show you, pick your friends.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I had Joe Mackey talking on my phone.
I was like, is that Prince Andrew? Is he here?
Yeah. He's our Prince Andrew. Joe Mackey.
He really is. In so many ways.
And then this is kind of an interesting thing too. Hilary Duff makes a lot of headlines now as a mom, which I mean, I love Hilary Duff. She's the Lizzie McGuire who's done no wrong. So she went to her son's football game this past weekend and just saw this old man taking photos of the kids. So then went up and was like, oh, are you guys, like, who are you here with? And he was like, I'm just practicing photography. So she ripped like him a new one and filmed him saying, that's creepy, you're making us feel uncomfortable. And he was like, it's not against the law. So now her new thing is she wants to make it against the law for people to photograph minors.
I mean, we do have, sports people who follow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. I've seen it in the park.
Do you really?
I've seen it before, and the first time I ever noticed it was there was
Chris Stanley
girls Little League game going on. And so I came walking up and I noticed that on 3 separate benches that were like way back, at first I thought, oh, this guy's just watching the game. And then I just saw 3 men on separate benches all watching. And then I could see where the parents and the coaches were, and they were all by the dugout and they were all like on the bleachers. And I was like, huh. And I was like, no, I mean, maybe they're all just sitting there and maybe they like baseball. This is totally a thing. And then like I would start to see the same guys around the park sitting, and I was like, oh
boy.
That's
You should take pictures of them.
Yes.
Right? That's when you're just like, hey, you know what?
I'm allowed.
I know, it's that weird thing. And I like his excuse was just immediately like, I just want to practice photography. And to that, I feel like that's a weird reason. It's like you could take photos of like
anything,
like sunsets for that.
Sure.
Now, Hilary Duff, is she the same Duff that was in Guns N' Roses, or is she different? Earl's saying no.
No.
Who was that then, Earl?
That was Duff McKagan.
Okay.
know.
Close though, right? With the duck thing.
They could be similar. Yeah, she did do a very unfortunate cover of Fleetwood Mac's "Little Lies."
Oh,
for her show Younger, which is a good show.
I see why she wanted to.
Right, Little Lies, because the show is about lying. We all love Stevie Nicks, but I remember because I love the song and I love Hilary Duff, but it's just one of those ones that don't go together.
I think Hilary Duff was the one who did My Generation too.
Oh, was that her
Yeah.
who did the like really bad,
Yeah. Let me
where
see.
she actually changed the lyrics?
She changed the lyrics that says, "I hope I don't die before I get old."
Which is, it's I hope I do. So.
All right, God, let's hear it.
People try to put us down. Just because we could get around.
Like Kids Bop.
It's really
Look awful cold. Hope I don't die before I get old.
It's like an ad for like AARP.
Like you could hear her people being like, "Well, I don't think she should say that."
Yeah.
It's like, what if she says she hopes she doesn't? And it's like, why would she bring that up? I don't know. Just have her do it.
Because
Nobody's
they're like,
gonna care.
the album's missing a cover, but we gotta make a little PC. Yeah.
People taking pictures of my kids, talking about my generation.
Yeah. So, do you ever see the videos of like all the Disney Channel kids when they have to make like this? I'm Hilary Duff, and you're watching Disney Channel. They had one, and it's like her crying because she had to do so many takes, and she had like the cold, and so I'd be like, I'm Hilary Duff, and you're watching the Disney Channel.
Oh, that's
so sad.
Keep it, print it.
Yeah.
Child labor.
Is this the one, Chris? You
I'm
found
gonna
it?
try to find it. It's a long
So she, because it's just, and it's like so, because I forget how she's been like around for so
Yeah,
long
forever.
too.
Yeah.
And she's one of those ones. She's never made it super super big, but she has that longevity game.
Hey, I'm Hilary Duff from Lizzie McGuire and Cadet Kelly, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Good. Big smile. Real proud at the end, okay?
Okay.
And action.
I'm proud of
Hey, I'm Hilary Duff from Lizzie McGuire and Cadet Kelly, and you're watching Disney Channel.
And last one, and action.
Hey, I'm Hilary Duff from Lizzie McGuire and Cadet Kelly, and you're watching Disney Channel.
It's just her on like a green screen, and they're just making her wand.
Just stop making her
Yeah.
do it.
Hi, I'm Hilary Duff, and I wish I could meet kids my own age.
She's like, I'm talking about my generation, but I don't even know them. I just know.
I'm Hilary Duff, and I just wanted to go to prom.
I know. She's like, I just want. Yeah, well, now she has 2 kids, and she's loving her life.
I'm Hilary Duff. I'm going to marry the first boy that kisses me.
She actually did another cover recently, and it's a song that I was like, oh, I don't know why that's like her bread and butter now, I guess. But it was, oh, Never Let You Go. Do you remember that? Like, I'll never let you go. I forget. Like, oh, maybe Sum 41. Sum 41.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
That was Chris Stanley's band.
Loved them.
Sad that they're at the cover stage.
Yeah, that she's like, and that's like with her new man. She's like, you know what, honey, for Valentine's Day, we're doing this together. It has 12 views on YouTube, so she's doing great.
We're bringing back some of that good. That's some 41 shit.
Ow! Do it, Hill! That's her new cover band. Yeah. She's like, I think it's what my people want. Yeah. And that the final creep we got going on is that Hunter Biden is asking for the judge to postpone his child support deposition.
Oh, good.
He's saying, I'm not available till April.
I'm busy.
He shouldn't have to take care of this baby.
Busy. Yeah.
I'm so busy.
Yeah, and he was saying that him showing up will just make it more of a PR thing, and he doesn't want to
Right.
embarrass his family or his father, even though his father's kind of doing a good
And
enough
by
job
his family,
embarrassing
he's
himself.
he's not considering the child he brought into the school.
That's actual
This
family.
is old dad.
I'll get to that.
Yeah, he's very much Drake with this, because remember when Drake just like we found out has a random kid in Canada, he's like, I just don't want to stress out my family, and we're like, but this kid wants contact with you.
And this child is your family.
Family,
so
yeah.
That's the whole.
I got all my sisters and me drinking. And then we got some. Also, Rose McGowan had to give a final comment about Harvey Weinstein. She is afraid that with all of this said and done, because she kind of ignited the movement against him, that he's going to hire a hitman and kill her.
Hey, I don't think it's off the table. I don't think Harvey's got anything to lose now.
I mean, normally, like, everyone is like, oh, she's nuts. But this seems valid.
Yeah.
Could be valid.
I also feel like it's one of those, like, she's, like, she had, and it goes to show she had to be as, like, vocal and, like, loud as she was to get, like, and I was like, all right, well, she'd made this. She helped make this happen, so we'll give her that. We'll give her a little charmed with that.
Yeah.
I know, but this is the time I do feel like it could be a weird thing of like, what is Harvey's next step, because I feel like he's not going to want to be someone who goes to jail quietly.
No.
And I forget he also has the LA cases that he has to hear about.
Which I'll look forward to them, a little chance to travel.
Got some Hudson News time in there. And and now we got to end it with some music. So I forgot that this was actually going to happen because I know they just talked about it for a while. But Whitney Houston's hologram tour kicked off.
Oh, yeah.
I
remember the lead up to
Yeah,
it, but now
and
it's really happening. I guess it's 2020.
It's 2020. It's here now. I know. I thought I was like, it would be something where it's just like, oh, down the line or when we get the software for it. But I feel like they just forgoed the software and they're just doing it. An evening with Whitney.
It's really happening.
Yeah, and everyone is saying that it's kind of not good, which is not that shocking to me, that a lot of fans are going, being like, this is uncomfortable and disappointing and lackluster, but I don't really get what they would, what else they thought about it, like what else it could be.
I do like that the Post just wrote, it's a mind fuck. Quoting one fan, it's a mind fuck.
My mind just got fucked.
Here! Here's the thing
the
that I'm going to
dancers are
say
real.
about a hologram performance, right? You've got them up on the stage. They're just a hologram. Why can't they be in the middle of the audience? with
That's
all of
true.
us?
Crowd surfing.
Yeah, there's no reason to have a stage.
But it looked pretty good, though, didn't it? It looked like she was there.
Yeah. Mind fuck.
Mind fuck.
So people dance with the hologram. They do the whole
Yeah. So that's what's so weird. They had a normal tour rehearsal for it because all the choreography had to be taught to the dancers, but then they're just truly dancing next to like this like projection that I don't even know if they can fully see on the stage with them.
Yeah, probably not, right?
Yeah,
Like, the
'cause it's just
angle
like-
would be like weird. But now she's become just like that Miley Cyrus Black Mirror character.
Ashley O, yeah.
She's the
Right.
real Ashley O. And now she can always work and always be on tour.
And always give the Whitney Houston Foundation money, which I feel like is what.
Hi, I'm Whitney Houston. Come see me on the Disney Channel. All right, what we find out about that guest then what?
No new developments.
But I still read the book anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna Rose McGowan you. I'm Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna Rose McGowan you.
That's not something you want.
That's not
Earl.
something you never want to be. Rose McGowan, never. From the bob to the knot. But I mean, that's all the dish we got today, guys.
Well, that was fantastic.
Such good dish.
I know, always the stories.
To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH or go to dish.com and follow Kashmir on Instagram because he's so funny, at Kashmir Danny. Go watch The Bachelor with him every Monday at Professor Tom's and read his column, Did You Hear with Kashmir? Every Wednesday at theibang.com. Bennington, we'll be right back.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show. Bennington is back, and this is Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
Welcome back to Bennington. Mark Norman's in studio. Mark's performing at Zany's in Nashville next weekend, March 6th and 7th, and at the Stress Factory in New Jersey, March 19th through the 21st. Go to marknormandcomedy.com for tickets and all his dates. And Mark's podcast, Tuesdays with Stories, is available now wherever you stream podcasts.
It's a fantastic podcast he does with his good buddy Joe List.
You got that right.
And it's, the married guy and the bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They come at it from different angles.
He's sober. I'm a booze bag.
Yeah.
I like drugs. Yeah, we're a kind of an odd gay couple.
What's the drug of choice for you?
I like shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big shroom guy. I love it.
You don't go all the way to acid, though?
Nah, it's too chemically. I never know when it's going to end. Shrooms, it's a good 5 hours, no hangover. You see some shit, you think some shit, and then you're back at work.
Right. Chris, you're not into the shroom thing at all?
I used to eat a lot of mushrooms and a lot of acid. I preferred acid. Mushrooms actually gave me worse fucking come downs.
Really?
Yeah.
You get a little depressed from
Exactly, yes. At like the trail end of it, I was just every time.
Interesting.
This is the thing with all drugs. People don't realize drugs affect us all differently.
Right. Yes.
We always think, this is just like weed. Some people are like, I get so relaxed on weed. Some people get fucking weird as shit.
Yeah.
Chris,
I'm
I
that
would
way.
also assume with your stomach that you got pretty bad diarrhea. That's my guess.
Never had any diarrhea. Mostly
Shit going in, shit coming out.
Yeah.
It's all
That's
natural.
shroom. Yeah.
But people do deal, like some people get stomach sick from it and some people don't because
Right.
it's however your body deals with poison being inside of it.
It is a poison.
Like-
You're eating a poison mushroom.
The first time I did it, I just broke out. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, my body was like, oh, because there's something bad inside.
Yes,
A
something
bad
impure.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's kind of, and we were talking about this today, and this is a bit of a leap, but I think a lot of people who get molested tend to be successful.
Well, I don't know where this went.
Well,
This
hold
is
on.
room talk.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hear me out here.
Yeah.
Okay. Shrooms are poison. You're putting your poison in your body. Your body reacts to the poison, and that's the trip.
Right.
It's the same with the molestation or the diddle.
Mhm.
Your body reacts to it, and you become more ambitious from it as a compensation kind of thing.
All right, let's look at billionaires. What billionaires have been molested? Do we know?
Oprah.
Oprah molested. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a one.
Tyler Perry. I'm sure there's a big list. I don't have the
I would
diddle
love to
list
see that.
on me.
All right, Elon, what's his name? Musk.
Oh,
Is he molested?
he was clearly
Yeah.
touched. There's no doubt about it.
What about Trump? And
I wouldn't be so. He had a lot of
yeah.
abuse with the crazy dad.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is like Zuckerberg. Oh man, Bezos.
All of these people have been molested?
I got something here, Fatty.
Yeah.
This is I think I got a trend here.
All I worry about is a little controversial, and these are hard times.
Yeah.
Chris, I can't believe you found the list of richest people who've been molested.
Are you sure this, Chris?
This is just the richest list.
Oh,
Okay.
wait,
you gotta be careful
We
with
were
it.
sitting here listing
We're taking we're taking a leap.
Yeah.
I would say celebrities who've been
Thank
molested.
you,
Because
yeah.
richest people who've been molested might be a weird.
Yeah, that'll just be a list of people we know.
Here's one thing that we always know: when we look at Chris, he freezes. He has to, and I also think he was molested.
Easily.
Yeah.
And now you
he's
seem
not
like a
successful
molester.
enough.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
You know what I mean? He doesn't do well at anything he tries.
It was
Right.
the wrong kind of molestation.
Yeah, if he was molested, he'd be on the other side of that desk.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Alyssa Milano. Well, she's kooky, but she made it. She made it.
Yeah.
We know her name.
I know what your name was molested, or she claims she was molested, and that's the girl who just put the book out not too long ago about the
Anne Frank.
No, Anne Frank hid. Really good hider.
Yeah,
the
not
hiding
good
was-
enough.
Yeah, yeah, but like 5 years.
Oh,
She
is
was in
that
it.
long?
But yeah, I think it was a long time. But Jessica Simpson was molested. But here's the thing, by another little girl.
What?
And I'm like, yeah, she was molested by a girl who was like 2 years older than
Huh?
her,
Right.
and went on for a
Interesting.
while. And in my neighborhood, that was just us playing doctor.
Right.
We did
Right.
not call it molested.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and say there's a scale of molestation.
Well, there's
I
a-
feel
definitely a
weird
I think there
saying it.
should be.
But
Yeah.
there's a scale, right? That's got to be
Right.
pretty low on
Right.
the trauma factor.
Good point.
All right.
That's a peer.
Yeah.
My last 2 trips to the airport, touched on the balls both times.
Mm-hmm.
Once back of the balls, once front of the balls. Doesn't bother me.
No, same.
Doesn't bother me.
Same here.
Don't
Yeah.
have a big thing about it. I think you could have taken my dick out, swung it around a little bit, and I'd be like, okay, am I good to go? Can I put my shoes back on? Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, as long as your dick's not wet.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
I had something similar with what Jessica Simpson had, but I remember that I came home and because I was so young, I
Yeah.
told my mom, because the girl was like a little bit older. She was like a first grader. I was like a preschooler. She was
Yeah.
in kindergarten. And I remember I said, I think I'm married now. and
So
I was
adorable.
like, and it's a girl. And I remember saying
Yeah.
that because she had kissed me. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, I think that's marriage. So.
Yeah, no, I
think you are married.
I think you're married in some
Yeah.
countries, yeah. I had my ass grabbed on the way to the stage by like a drunk, older, milfy lady at the cellar, and I didn't even bring it up. I just did my set. I mean, that's assault. What
Doesn't
the fuck do
bother
I
you.
care?
Doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
That's why it's a scale. Molestation.
I
there's
do
a scale.
think
Yes.
that Earl was probably someone came in his ass, if I had to say, just from his personality. You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
a neighbor, I bet.
Fastness. Yeah, I think probably a relative.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say
That made
Yeah,
it worse
I mean,
for him.
uncle.
uncle, but on his mom's side. You know what I mean?
Ah,
really?
usually the-
Yeah.
There's always a family pastor.
Yes.
Who's like a weird older guy.
Yeah. And,
And we got
Earl
the
thought he
thumbs
was
up.
just getting closer to Jesus. Now, Chris, I know when you were a little kid, you molested a neighbor.
Well, I didn't molest them. This is
Ooh.
what happened, Ron. I was
Yeah.
in first grade, and there was an older girl on
How
the
old?
first floor.
30?
I don't remember. Maybe 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
So I remember like playing doctor or something. All I really remember, I remember one thing happening.
Mhm.
I remember going down on this little girl when I was in first grade, and then her
That never
mother,
occurred to us.
and then her mother coming in and freaking the fuck out, and they moved out of the apartment building like very shortly afterwards.
And you were little. Now,
Whoa.
how would you know even to go down on a girl? I didn't know at that age.
I just remember going to her vagina as a first
And
grader
taste,
face.
and
and
taste.
tasting.
Well, when you're a kid, you put everything in your mouth.
Yes,
You know?
especially
Yeah.
that fatty. I mean, he was
I
a
wasn't
fat
that
eater.
fat as a
Oh, you
child.
were very big.
She said there was candy in there.
Ah.
Candy puss.
It was cherry flavored.
So yeah, that happened.
That's weird, though. I
Yeah,
never
it's
heard
weird.
of anybody
No.
doing that.
Yeah.
In a way, kind of generous. You're
Yeah.
a giver.
Yeah, it's nice for her. I
Now,
guess.
in finance, he and a little boy used to blow each other. And again, I didn't know about that. And they did it in school, in the school bathroom.
Yikes.
Yeah.
There was a little another kid, a little black kid, who exposed himself to me once.
Why did you have to mention the
It
race
doesn't
of the
fucking
child?
matter what
Doesn't
race he is.
matter.
I'm
Well, he's
sorry, Earl.
painting a picture.
Yeah.
in the hallway.
Dark picture.
In the hallway. This was probably a few years later, and then I had to run into the teacher. Said, "Teacher, David just showed me his pee-pee."
Whoa.
I was weirded out.
I don't like
Why'd you
calling a
rat at
dick a
him?
pee-pee.
Also,
Yeah.
why don't you know your teacher's name?
I can't remember which teacher it was.
That happens so much.
Yeah.
You just yelled her job at her?
I don't think. See, here's the thing. Me and all the kids in my first and second grade, we would all piss together.
Yep.
And piss to see who could hit the wall and all that kind of stuff. But it didn't seem to be sexual. It was more just competitive.
Same.
Yeah.
We had the trough thing.
Yeah, we had the trough.
Same here.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I know that two boys, one of them got in trouble for showing his dick, but it was in a humorous way.
Sure,
And
it's
I
always
remember
Yeah.
everyone reacting as though he was doing something sexual. But I knew he had took it out and shook it. I mean, he
Yeah.
was trying to be
Yeah,
funny.
it's fun.
It
Dicks
is
are
funny.
And
funny.
instead, they were just like, he's done something, because it was
Terrible.
to another boy, he's done something not only terrible, but gay.
Yeah.
And I was like, but
That's
he's
what I said, terrible.
joking.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed...
Let's take it for what it is.
Yeah,
It's not like you making out with another girl and
Yeah.
getting
I
married.
know. Yee,
Yeah.
Slow down. We used to
We
do
were
the
married.
We used to do the balls on the corner of a table. That was a big move.
Yeah.
Just pull the balls out of the fly and just set them on the corner.
Uh-huh.
And that was
Yeah.
it. No dick, just balls.
Just
And that was the
presenting
joke.
them.
Yeah, that was the big gag. No pun intended.
Now, I brought up about you and Joe being partners on this show. He's married. You don't ever see yourself as married? You don't see yourself taking a bride?
Well, I'm such a wussy, coward douche that I
Uh-huh.
don't think if I got married and if I was unhappy, I wouldn't get out.
You would
I-
just stay there.
I don't want to rock the boat. I would just be miserable for my life. And that's why I know I'm scared of marriage because I can't get out of things.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that 1 second of misery and awkwardness where I go, this is over. I want a divorce. I can't handle that.
Now, I was on that cruise with Joe, and one night at dinner, he was telling a very sad story from his childhood
Diddle?
that had me laughing so fucking hard. I was worried that I would crack a rib. That's
Really?
how fucking funny this story. And it was a horrible story. I don't know what he told. It was about his mini bike when he was a kid, or no, his go kart.
Oh,
his go kart.
Who was a go kart?
Look, here's the fucking thing. I don't want to give this away because this should be a special, an entire special.
Wow, I've never heard this.
But I went through and even picked apart the logic, and I saw more pain in his face. I'm like, Joe, if they told you that, then how did this happen? And I just saw his face be like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to let him tell you because I kid you not, it was so fucking funny. Now, the funny thing is he tells a sad story. Right away, Keith Robinson is laughing at him.
Of course.
And Adrian Iapolucci's boyfriend, Frank, the two Philly guys are laughing so fucking hard at a really sad story. But the more he got into it, the funnier it was. And you just saw the sadness on his face. And I'm like, this may be my favorite story ever. I think I said, you should do something with it. He goes, really? You think? I go, yeah. It's better than your act. You know what I mean? But it is funny, like you brought up, it seems like the worse childhood a comic had, the better off they are. You don't see a lot of rich people's kids doing comedy.
Who's the best comic of all time?
Pryor.
Who had the worst childhood?
Pryor.
Pryor grew up in a brothel. His mom was a prostitute. He said he watched her fuck white men his whole childhood. He was a drug. I mean, he's got the fucking gumbo. All the horrible things are put in that pot and stirred up, and that's him. Carlin grew up, his dad beat the shit out of his mom, Irish alcoholic, Harlem, the whole thing. Yeah, poor. All these people are sad. And then there's internal pain. Like Seinfeld's a funny guy. He had a fine home, but he's just nuts, inside.
Yeah.
So there's that shit too. But
now, why do you think that Seinfeld has problems?
Well, I think he's a little spectrumy, and I think he's got a weirder thought process.
People, like, when he went and saw this thing about an autistic guy on Broadway, he goes, I think I have some of that. Everyone got so mad at him that he had to say, no, I don't. But yes, he does, because you can see his lack of empathy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
You could tell that Jerry could see a murder take place without yelling, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would just see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when Kesha goes, can I get a hug? And he goes, no, thanks.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
All right.
There's no maliciousness.
There is none whatsoever. He just doesn't want that human contact. And the thing that makes him such a great performer is people don't catch on to what you saw immediately. Like, America thinks of him as the guy next door, the regular guy. And no.
Right.
He's, easily, the fact that he could get along with Larry David.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who puts out, like, I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
You know?
Who I love. He's my hero.
Yeah.
Great season.
You loving this season?
Yeah, there's been a couple so-sos, but I mean, I just love him. And the MAGA hat I love, and he wouldn't hug the trans person because she had a cold. I mean, it's all genius. And I think we need this right now. We're all so pent up and nervous and whatever. Just seeing him not hugging a trans, I mean, it's good for America. It's like breaking the ice a little.
He should next week wear a Harvey Weinstein hat. Just like I support Harvey.
Yeah.
Chris, you remind me of Harvey Weinstein. I think you can play him in the movie. You can play young Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. You got to get a little less fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do that.
It's hard.
I mean,
Are
you're
you?
eating pussy like it's fucking...
There's a lot of candy
When
in there.
you go down on your girlfriend now, does it remind you of what you did as a child, as a child rapist?
No, I wasn't a child rapist. It was two children exploring each
He
other.
was a child prodigy. He was fucking
Oh,
learning
yeah.
it.
I guess you're the rapist,
Yeah.
so she's probably really successful.
Oh, yeah.
From what I remember, she wanted me to do it. I mean, I don't remember
think,
this at all.
but see, this is what my Jessica Simpson problem was. I think if two little kids do things together, it's just exploring.
I agree.
It's very weird.
And sometimes there is an age power play, but it's not on the same level.
It's not on the same level as an adult.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand you don't want a 15-year-old fucking babysitter doing something to a tiny child.
Mm-hmm.
But, when kids are the same age.
Yeah.
In your case, what you've done was horribly horribly weird. Something had to happen to you
Yeah.
for you to understand cunnilingus in
you
first
had
grade.
to have seen it.
Yeah.
I'm sure something happened to me. I don't remember a lot from my childhood.
Yeah.
I mean,
this memory that I
that's
just
always
said,
that's a sign.
yeah, I
always.
know.
Yeah, because didn't one
Suppressed.
time
Yeah.
he said, like, we were talking about earliest memories, and everybody was going around and talking about things when they're 3, 4,
Right.
5 years old, and he was just like, I remember in first grade, and we were
Yeah.
like, uh-oh.
Oh,
One-
yeah.
That's too
One
late.
of his earliest memories was taking your driver's exam. And I'm like, there's something fucked up there.
What is that, 15, 16?
Yeah.
Oh,
You had a
you've-
fucking mustache.
You've buried a lot, buddy.
Yeah, you
Oh,
have to
definitely, yeah.
probably give you other kids.
You've gone down on, who knows, a whole schoolyard.
Mark Norman's performing at Zanies in Nashville next weekend, March 6th and 7th, and at the Stress Factory in New Jersey, March 19th to the 21st. Go to marknormandcomedy.com for tickets and all his dates. And his podcast, Tuesdays with Stories, is available now wherever you stream podcasts.
Now, here's an interesting thing. We don't have any problems with kids pretending to kill each other, right? Shooting, all that stuff is fine.
Interesting.
But if they're kissing, tasting,
Right.
whatever, we're fucking freaked out.
Sex is always weirder.
Yeah.
That's a good point, because I remember when I was in kindergarten, we all got in big trouble, and not only the teacher, but the principal had to come in because we were playing a game that we called Kissy Boy, Kissy Girl. Kissy Boy, Kissy Girl is tag with kissing, right?
All right,
So
yeah.
it would go back and forth between the genders. A boy would get
Yes.
be it, then he would kiss a girl. Kissy Boy, Kissy
It's a
Girl.
good title,
It's
too.
a really good title.
We
But
do this-
nobody ever said you're playing Red Rover, or
Right.
you're playing tag. You're hitting
Yeah.
each other and whatever.
Yeah.
But because we were planting kisses on each other, it was like, this
Disgusting.
stops now.
Why
It's
does, every,
disgust.
why does every kid have a cold sore in this grade?
Yeah.
Something's up.
But even think of it this way. If you're sitting on the couch next to your mom and you're a kid and there's a sex scene, you're freaking out. But if there's a murder scene,
Yeah, never.
I mean, we've all done that. We've
Yeah.
all watched murders
Yes.
with our family. But if suddenly there's exposed breasts, you're like, this is
You
gotta
know,
stop.
that's an American thing. I don't think in Europe they're not worried about this. In Europe, they're all blowing each other on the sidewalks, and
I would have been accepted.
yeah.
I would have been great.
I mean, you.
Yeah.
That girl would have never moved.
You should be a Nazi.
I just picture you at the bottom of the slide with your mouth open. Kids just sliding into your
I
face.
can see him. I
Fill
can
my
see him at
mouth.
the bottom of a urinal with his mouth. All the kids coming by to piss.
But you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we hate Louis C.K. more than Chris Brown, and he
Oh,
beat
yeah.
the hell out of what's her
Right.
face, and I'm like, I'd rather get jerked off in front of than beat up. But
Right.
you know, hey, that's me. But we're
Here's-
different.
When I was a kid, another kid took a baseball bat, hit me in the fucking head with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and that kid ended up becoming friends like within weeks.
Yeah.
But if he would have cut my balls, everybody in the neighborhood would have freaked out. He probably would have moved like Chris.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. But he literally hit my skull with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Two weeks later, we're riding bikes.
One of the strongest acts of aggression. by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Baseball
Yeah.
bat to the head?
Well, that's like Tom and Jerry shit. I guess you
Right.
just see the cartoons.
Yeah.
And our parents, I mean, I'm at the end, they would go, you got to fight, make your place. They did not make a big deal about us
Yeah.
fighting each other. They told us you got to fight.
My daughter is 1.5, and so if on a show or on a cartoon something play violently, like the way you see in
Yeah.
cartoons happens, she looks really confused. She'll
Yeah.
like hold her head, and I'm just like, in a year or two you'll find that hilarious.
It's gonna be
right
funny.
now it's upsetting. You're like,
Yeah.
why is violence happening to
Right.
these cartoons?
Yeah.
But eventually you're gonna become numb to this.
That TV is not a babysitter. I just want you to know something. You don't need to leave it on all day long. She's watching the fight the other night with the guy licking blood.
Oh, that was weird.
That was weird.
What was that? That was like you're like, hey, look at this white guy. All right, that's one for. Ah, look at this shit.
We were trying to enjoy the whiteness of the whole thing. And when Will Savence put on like this ruined Black History Month for him, I was like,
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Good. We need that. We need a good white fighter.
Yeah.
Especially a Mick. You know?
Right?
Yeah, but let's not claim him, guys.
I am. I'm
can't-
claiming him.
No. honestly, I'm turning away, and I don't know why. This really messed me up. It's just
That's like Chris in first grade.
That's right.
What is
His
that?
Red Wings.
She was on her period too.
And he knows he's on camera. It's all
Yeah.
very strange. This is
What
a
is he
lunatic.
He
doing?
just don't give a
doing it?
fuck. He's saying, I own this fucker.
Oh,
I
is that
drink
what
his
that
blood."
is?
Ownership.
Oh, I didn't get
Yeah.
it. I
That's
thought he
like
was
a
turned
warriorship.
on.
It's something you would do to your cuck. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, your cuck lick your toes or whatever.
Yeah, even the ear biting I got.
Yeah.
This I don't get.
By the way, I was there that night.
No
I was there
way.
in Vegas for that fucking fight. And that whole place, every person in there went fucking crazy and started fighting. Like the fighting that was taking place everywhere.
Wow.
It was, like you can understand how like the pagan holidays got nuts in the old days. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Because that's how we all felt. Like we're going to now get our own blood.
Yeah.
We were crazy. We were literally crazy.
Damn. That's why I won't go to a porno theater.
I don't blame you.
You don't know what could break out.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. Everyone could just jack together.
Yeah,
Chris
Pee-wee.
is in there eating a fucking...
Mouth open.
Yeah.
That's not popcorn.
How are you going to do? You can do a plug?
Well, plug.
Great idea.
Mark Norman's performing at Zanies in Nashville next weekend, March 6th and 7th, and at the Stress Factory in New Jersey, March 19th through the 21st. Go to marknormancomedy.com for tickets.
You're out there on the road, buddy.
Every
You're
weekend
doing it.
I got a big nut.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to
Yeah.
take care of business.
Yeah, I
You
got
mean?
my apartment.
You don't have a roommate to split with. You're living on your own.
Yep.
It's just you and your ladies.
And I'd like to buy a bigger place. I'd like to buy a car. I'd like to be an adult, like,
Yeah.
and have a home, you know?
Right.
But I need money.
You want a home, but you don't want a family.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
I'd like to have some financial stability before I do the whole child thing. But, you know, they say whatever, you're never ready and all that.
You're never ready. Well, Chris is going through that now. He's never ready. Earl's never made the attempt. You don't want to end up like Earl. Earl's 51 years old.
Wow.
Fucking has never been. He hasn't gotten even laid in 10 years.
Jeez.
And he doesn't masturbate.
Yeah, you look pent up.
Yeah. Setting himself up for some fucking ass cancer.
Yeah, well, all the jizz in there.
Yeah.
It's got to be like concrete.
You think? You think it's hardened?
It has to have hardened, right? I mean, just no
I don't know. I don't think scientifically.
cum
we can
goes
say-
in
I think it's
dick
dry.
for 10 years?
I think
dry.
it's dry, like
They
dust.
get powders.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's sticky and dry.
Like the old powdered milk that they had during World War II.
Right?
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe-
you could add water and it would become cum.
You know what? Maybe that he could have come for future generations if he just has a big bag of that dust. Cum
Yeah,
dust.
it's like almost like space ice cream, like that texture.
Space cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought you made a gay baby by butt sex. True story.
Yeah.
That was
Also,
kid
like
thinking.
gay, someone who is gay was the product of butt sex.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's the
exactly.
thing. If that were true, Chris would have like 60 fucking kids right now.
Oh, are you an anal guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, loves it. Loves it with other men.
Who does?
Loves having anal with other men.
Okay.
Man, you got to hope to be a top.
Yes. Although, I'm trying to think if somebody told me they've only been a bottom.
I know some people who
Oh,
have
I know who it
only-
is. It's
Oh.
Mateo.
Oh, is that right?
Mateo said he's never been on top, and I go, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" He goes, "I couldn't stand that pressure."
What?
I go, what are you fucking kidding me?
There's worse pressure on the other side.
I would
Yeah.
assume.
I know guys who always bottom, never top.
It's
Do
a
you know anybody
personality
who's only
thing.
top?
I do, yeah.
Because I'd be 100% the only
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew somebody who was only top and had only received blowjobs.
Wow, that's a good gig.
That's
Shit.
the fucking
Guess
Ronnie
what?
B of the gay world.
Guess what? Very attractive.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that
Sure.
makes sense.
That helps.
You know.
You got to pick.
No, not on me.
The gays are very, what do you call it? Shallow.
Superficial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very,
superficial.
very
there
superficial.
So to me, I always thought of him as like king of the jungle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So he was attractive enough to be like, I'm going to dominate, and
Right.
this is my terms, and they're like, understood.
you go. Right.
You know, when Fez decided that he was gay, he was brokenhearted that the people that he liked didn't even see him. You know what I mean? It's like, have you ever like walked past like a girls' Catholic school and they're coming out and they're talking all around you and they don't even know that you're there? That's
Yeah.
how he felt when he went to a club. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So he was like, I fucking, lost it. I waited too long. And I said to him, oh, I knew you when you were younger. You were like a fucking pug face. You wouldn't have got any of that fucking hot gay cock then. You would have had to just depended on.
Bears.
Yes, and he did. He was a bear, but didn't like bears.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I also know a couple who's a double bear, and I think it looks like a real cozy place to be.
Yeah.
Like two bears just wrestling each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you're good with that, the
Yeah.
world's your oyster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've picked that, but I don't know if you guys are interested in seeing that one.
No, I don't want to see that. I'd rather see Mateo take it in the ass.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd love to watch that.
Everybody will sit around and just ask Mateo questions all night long. and
Well, we're
he's-
so curious.
Yeah, he's happy to open it up.
Yeah.
But he did tell
Literally.
us before, no, I'm only a bottom. And with that ass of his, I can't imagine how in vogue he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has an unbelievable ass.
And body, face, he's
Yeah,
a
he's
smoke
everything.
show.
He's the whole fucking package. Now, Earl's thing, he only wanted white women, so that was difficult for him. Because they had they wanted no part of him. Except for
Really?
the gilfs. The gilfs.
Yeah, the G MILFs
Yeah.
love an ebony hunk.
They used to ask him to come in and bust up the chipper. He wouldn't do it, though.
What about the N word in bed with the white lady?
Loves it. He loves it.
Is that a turn on?
Not a turn on at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
And it is for me.
Yeah, I like to watch it.
I think it fits into any kind of taboo thing. I think whatever you say in bed, it's not real.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Right. I'm with you. I had a woman in bed. I had sex with a black woman once. Not bragging. And it's intimidating, you know, huge caboose. And I was behind her, and she kept yelling, "Get it! Get it!" And I was, I'm a skinny white guy going, shit, I thought I was.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like, I don't know is this getting it? What are we doing here?
Yeah, the only offensive thing to hear in bed is if someone says harder. And you're just like, fuck you. You're
Yeah.
not fucking driving this.
Right. Well,
You know what I mean?
long, deeper is a
Yeah.
little painful,
Yeah,
too.
that's
Because you're like,
awful.
shit,
Yeah.
this is all I got. you
This
know?
is, I've taken it as far as humanly possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have,
But
stockpile.
Chris's one turn on is don't, please. I'm only a child.
I'm
and
not a
you're-
rapist. Why do I have to keep saying this?
You know who the other person who had to keep saying it? Harvey Weinstein. And what did he say? How could this happen in America?
How could this happen?
How could a white man be arrested in
He
America?
said, "I'm innocent. I'm innocent. This is America."
Now,
wow.
Did he say that in court?
He said it in court as like the guilty thing came down. He said that to his lawyer.
Do you think when somebody is that delusional that they believe that?
No, I
Like,
think he
when
believes it.
Did he
Yeah.
say it, or he's like, I better say this so I
think he-
keep up the...
He's had everything given to him for decades, so I think he can't wrap his head around this loss.
Because that's the thing I was thinking is like, if you're, psychotic enough to be a serial rapist and you
Mhm.
have zero empathy, you probably actually are like, I'm innocent. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Here's the
there's
thing.
nothing I do is wrong.
Harvey Weinstein knew everybody in the business, right? Think of one person who's said a positive thing about him, and I'm talking about his own family members in the last 2-3 years. Like, it really is the fucking truth that no one was with him in court. Not a wife, not a brother,
Oh, wow.
not a friend like Tarantino, Kevin Smith. None of them are saying a single thing
Yeah.
about him. I mean, who doesn't have one buddy that'll stick with him? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
OJ had a fucking friend at a murder fucking trial. Two friends sitting next to him, a Kardashian and his fucking buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And Harvey doesn't have a single motherfucker that he's not paying.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well,
Burned a lot of bridges.
let him fry. But then on the flip side, 4 years ago, everybody's hugging him. Harvey, you're the greatest. You're my hero. You're a god to me. Kiss him on the cheek.
Saying it at the awards shows.
Yeah.
None of those people, like they're not saying, "Hey, you got me an Oscar. I should be here for him and back him up." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should just show up. I mean,
I think because they always feared him.
Yeah.
Whether they knew that aspect of his life or didn't, because I
Yeah.
know that the rumors were around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh,
Well,
you
we
don't
knew
want to
that he
be
was-
alone with Harvey Weinstein.
I don't know if that rumor was around, but the fact that he's a screamer was
Right.
always around. But I had never personally heard that he was assaulting women or whatever. I'm not in Hollywood.
know that,
but
like-
he's done this show 3 times.
Yeah. I know
What?
that some women, like actresses, said that it
know
was
that.
like a casting couch
Yeah.
rumor. Like it's like, oh boy, if he invites you somewhere, like not necessarily like he's a straight up rapist.
Maybe
but
they
he's-
said that after he got
Yeah.
busted, but I had never heard it before. And when he would come in and do the show, he was a very seductive personality.
Is that right?
You wanted him to like you.
Interesting.
And then I remember I would get texts from him, even though I never gave him my number.
Whoa, that's
And,
power.
You know, and then I was like, well, this is fucking great. Harvey, I go, maybe we should, we could do a show.
Yeah.
Once a month. Because he knew everything there was to know about movies. Old movies, new movies. He could really break him down. He was a very fucking fascinating guy. And we only talked about movies, nothing else.
And his movies were killer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Pulp Fiction. It's
Yeah.
Matt. What is it? Good Will Hunting. All these great Miramax movies.
They were great.
Yeah.
They were literally fucking great. I used to go to movies if they said, in the 90s, if they said Miramax.
Same here.
The way that you would buy a Motown record or an Atlantic record, be like, I trust these guys.
Yeah.
They're putting out something good. Everyone fucking forgets that, though. I mean, he was the reason we had independent film.
Yep. It's crazy.
No.
Always the talented ones. Bill Cosby, good comedian.
Good fucking comic.
Yeah.
Only person who came out on the side of Harvey, too. He said it the other day.
Yeah.
He put out I don't know how he's putting out these.
So it's his official Instagram account. I think he
Yeah.
said that the jury wasn't sequestered, so this whole thing's bullshit. That he should never.
Wow.
Okay, tell yeah, that is weird that they weren't sequestered too. Tell the Bill Cosby story your friend told you.
Yeah. So this was years ago, and at this time, of course, very much before it became.
The Me Too with Cosby.
Uh-huh.
When he was still the guy.
So this was at a work function, and so everybody had been having some drinks, and suddenly some conversation of Bill Cosby comes up, and this guy tells this story, and he says when he was a kid, his mother was single. And so she was kind of like, she would go out at night, and sometimes like she would bring someone home. And one night, he was like a latchkey kid, so he's sitting there and he's watching TV by himself. And the door opens. His mom was a very beautiful, blonde, white woman.
Oh, yeah.
Just setting the scene. So then she comes in and she says, "You know who this is? This is Mr. Bill Cosby."
Oh, my God.
And he's sitting there and he says he can remember it like it was yesterday.
How old is he at the time?
Small child, like
Okay.
elementary school age,
Okay.
I think. I believe elementary school age. And he says, Bill Cosby, his mom introduces him and he's like shocked, but Bill Cosby says nothing to him.
Huh.
Not hello, not hi, never even opens his mouth, just like stares kind of down at him sternly.
Mm-hmm.
And then him and his mother go into the other room.
Oh, boy.
So now he's sitting there and he's like so confused. Why is Bill Cosby here? Why is Bill Cosby with my mom? Why is Bill Cosby with my mom in the other room?
Uh-huh.
They're in there. Whatever happens, happens.
She starts sleeping.
Bill Cosby comes back into to leave. He comes through the living room and he sees my friend who's a little boy at the time. And he walks over to him and he takes him by the hand and then he grabs him by the thumb and presses it back.
What?
Very hard. All the way, like almost like he
Like to
felt
break
his
it.
thumb was gonna break.
Yeah.
And he just is staring him down as he was doing it.
What?
And then eventually just let it go and walked out.
This is bananas.
And he told this story and we were like chills. We were
What?
like, are you kidding me? Now at this time I don't know any stories about Bill
Right.
Cosby being anything. And I was like, what the hell did that mean? I mean, we all took it to mean
A
as
threat.
a
Keep your
threat.
fucking mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut. I
Wow.
wasn't here. You didn't speak to me. You didn't see me here, whatever.
Yeah.
But he did it by never opening his mouth and never talking to him, but just pressing
Oh,
his
my
thumb back,
Lord.
the little boy. And I remember I came and told you this story.
Yeah.
And then you said he has had a reputation for many years. And that was the first time I had ever even
Right.
heard that. But this guy didn't say, oh, I think he, raped my mom or did so. He just told from the
But
perspective
Bill was
of him as
obviously married and had a
Yes.
family.
Oh,
and
yes,
didn't
yes,
need this
yes.
kid
Yes.
fucking shooting off his mouth.
Yes.
Now, to me, the worst part of the story, white woman. That's just me. Earl, don't take that the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
Now, you guys don't remember, but Earl, you probably remember guys pulling your thumb back when you were a little kid. That was a thing.
Oh, yeah,
that
definitely.
guys would do back in the uglier, violent days.
It was a power move. I got you.
And that was like your big brother's friends and stuff like that
Right.
would do that.
Damn.
That story freaked us out. We
Anyone
were
else
so,
hard?
So
Yeah, a little bit.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow, it says everything you need to know right there. The
Right.
not talking, the thumb, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow. And the mom's just snoozing, probably.
Now, where did he grow up? Was it New York? Was it Philly? Was it L.A.?
I cannot remember, but I feel like it was New York.
See?
Not necessarily the city. I feel like maybe he was like I can't remember.
Right.
This
where
guy
he
should
grew
do a one-man show called Kids Say the Darndest Things. just
And they
him ratting
eventually
out.
become adults.
Yeah. Wow, that is bananas. Yeah. Cosby. Apparently, Harvey has a fucked up dong. They said in all the records, like his dong is all discombobulated and scarred up, and
Right. That was basically. She's like, I can describe his dick.
And that
so.
might have been what fucked it up because he had to show a picture of his dick to the jury. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think that's why the two things
Right.
didn't go down that way. I think his dick is not as bad as she remembered it.
Oh.
That could have been through her own freaked out shock.
Right. I mean, I feel like in that circumstance, it's going to distort the dick in your mind. You're going to be like, that was the grossest dick I've ever seen.
but a couple people said it was all gnarly.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but hey, what do I know?
I would love to see it.
Same.
I think that should be his next movie. It's a documentary about his dick. Oh my God, what is this thing on Fox News though? It looks
Uh-oh.
like some kind of a
A shootout?
yeah. It looks like the cops are surrounded a
This is
fucking
weird. Like,
place.
they don't even have. Normally, they would have
I
like,
know.
at the bottom.
And this
here.
is Cavuto's show, so he never does. He's the business guy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You know?
Something's up.
Oh boy.
Some kid got eaten out in Philly.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now the cops don't need to be involved.
Man, crazy times.
Did your parents find out?
They must have. They never brought it up to me, but this is a memory that just came back to me like maybe a couple of years ago.
Or were you disgusted when you thought about it? Were you humiliated?
No, I mean, I felt like, all right. I mean, I felt bad that they had to move out of the apartment, but I don't think I did anything wrong.
We were doing a playing doctor thing in my neighborhood, and then we got caught. And then the questions that they asked made me feel shameful.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would ask, "Did this happen? Did that happen? Was
Yeah.
anyone laying on top of her?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? We were looking at ass."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I could see that this was a terrible thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's pretty standard, though. I mean, I remember
Yeah.
taking baths with my brother, and he'd turn around and we'd look at his asshole,
Right.
and he'd look at my asshole, and all
Yeah.
that. It was good
You're having the
times.
time of your life.
Yeah.
Figuring stuff out.
It's all just your own personal perception.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all it is.
Any shyness or embarrassment is a made up thing that each person does.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's
And that's why
puritanical.
they get mad by sociopaths like me who don't fucking care what violence I put on other people.
Right.
They act like that's my problem.
Yeah.
You know? But it's really up to you to choose how you feel about things. It's
Right.
weird
You could
to
be
think that.
glasses half full.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, the ass is half full.
Yeah.
Of my dick.
I got a weird one, and tell me what.
Yeah.
Stop me if you've heard me tell the story, but probably 13, 12 years old, at a friend's house, skateboarding around the neighborhood. We all run back. My friend goes, I got to jump in the shower. It's his house. So it's like four of us dicking around in his room, and I see a VHS tape that says skate. And I go, hey, put on the skate video. We pop in the VCR. My friend's in the shower. It's a little fuzzy. It clicks on. It's his sister, naked, in the bathroom, like looking at herself sexually, like, ooh, you know, making little noises and grabbing a boob and like flipping her hair around. And we're like, what the fuck is this? You know, we're 13 or 12 years old. We're just like, what the fuck? How does he have this? How? And we're seeing his sister naked. The whole thing's bananas. And he comes out of the shower. You know, he's got the towel in his hair. Hey, what's up, fella? Oh, no. And he jumps on the TV. No, you don't understand. She owed me money. I had to blackmail her. And we're like, dude, what is up with you? What are you doing? And he had this whole cockamamie scheme about how she owed him money, so he had to do that to get back at her. And I'm like, I think you just wanted to see a naked woman in your house.
Right. But they never went any further.
No, we all just, you know, bit our lip and went home and we're like, can you fucking believe that shit on the phone? You know, that was crazy. And great for us because we got to see his sister naked. And
But
she
you
was
never
like
brought
17.
it up to her. I mean, the
No.
blackmail could have just started to kick in at that point.
That's true, but I didn't want to stir the pot.
Yeah.
But man, great body. And the whole thing was exciting. You could see like he had the camera hidden in the closet of the bathroom. You could see like a cotton ball in the corner, you know.
Oh, so she didn't even know.
No, of course not.
Wow.
She wouldn't have posed like that if she knew. And she was like being sexy and everything.
In my mind, I was like, maybe he's lying and she made it for him.
Right.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, he was just a dirty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that girl, by the way, today is Jennifer Lawrence.
Wow.
That's the fun part of the story.
Yes.
And then
that was our audition
and
for
then
the Red Sparrow.
He bent her fucking arm back. All right, we gotta go. Mark Norman,
Mark-
thank you. Always great to see you, buddy.
Oh shit.
Mark
Thank
Norman's
you.
performing at Zany's in Nashville next weekend, March 6th and 7th, and at the Stress Factory in New Jersey, March 19th through the 21st. Go to marknormancomedy.com for tickets and all his dates. And Mark's podcast, Tuesdays with Stories, is available now wherever you stream your podcast.
Gracias.
All right. I'll see you tonight at the Stand, right? You're going to be at the
Yes,
Stand?
sir.
Wow.
You better believe it.
I'll see you out there. All right. That's it for us. See you, Mark.
Peace.
Praise up.